Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Week 2 live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. Joe Pisapia. I don't even know my own name anymore. That, of course, is Derek Brown, D-Bro, the king of bros. But we are here answering your questions, and I assure you I'm still Joe Pisapia. Full name.
Piece of pizza?
There we go. Yeah, I love that. I love when everybody figures that out for the first time and they think they're really funny on the YouTube comments. Like, oh, I just put that together as if I never heard that in my entire life. And the thing is, Derek, Little Caesars kind of disappeared there for like 10 years. And then they made this giant comeback, and it's come back again. So I don't know if my kids deal with it, but yeah. Have you ever eaten Little Caesars pizza? That's the important question. I never have. It looks weird. It looks like fake pizza. That's what it is.
There's never been a moment in my life where I've actually like prayed for diarrhea. So no, I kind of stay away from Little Caesars.
Well, there you have it, folks. Week 2 is getting off with a bang here. Again, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Hopefully better than that. D-Bro also, as we let the questions pile in here, a lot of injuries to get to. So let's rattle through them. Austin Ekeler out. Joshua Kelly in. Your expectations for Kelly? I know he's ranked kind of in that low-end RB2. Is that your thinking of what he can give you? Is he kind of you start him, but you shouldn't be super excited necessarily based on this matchup against the Titans?
Yep. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Joey. I'm going to have him, but when it's all said and done, as a low-end RB2, probably a high-end RB3. There are other running backs on the board that I like to play more, and if you're looking at Kelly, if you have to go with him in your RB2 spot, I totally understand it. Like, Austin Ekeler is a big cog, and you spend a lot of draft capital, so probably not a lot of great backup options considering the state of the running back position just in general. But if you can sit here and toss them into your flex, if you do have better options, there are wide receivers that I would much rather play this week over Josh Kelly. I mean, sew him in for 15 plus touches, but I just don't think he's going to do a whole lot. And this is going to be a game where the Bolts just say, you know what? Elite run defense? Let's just throw all day, baby. So you're really hoping that the run out for Joshua Kelly is he flops in the end zone once, and that's how he gets into the top 24 running backs.
Does he get any targets in this game, though, you think? Josh Kelly or no?
I mean,
it's a big part of this offense. Let's not pretend like it's not.
Oh, it is a part of this offense. I mean, and I'm not going to shade away from that. I mean, I'd say medium projection, 3 to 4 targets. You're probably going to see over that, depending on the Tennessee pass rush, if it can get home and put a little bit of heat on Justin Herbert. But I wouldn't be thinking that he's going to get more than 4.
All right, fair enough. Christian Watson out for today. Aaron Jones out for today for the Packers. That means that A.J. Dillon is in. Now, Dillon did not look good in the first week, but is A.J. Dillon a guy you can start this week in week 2 with the full workload and a different setup here going against the Atlanta Falcons?
Same thing. We just talked about Joshua Kelly. I think this Falcons run defense is going to be better than people think. And I think the Green Bay Packers are going to take to the air today. So I'm going to have Jordan Love ranked aggressively. Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave is a top 12 tight end this week. So A.J. Dillon, you got to start him. I get it. He's probably going to get 15 touches. I do worry that Patrick Taylor is going to get more use in this backfield because, like you talked about, Joe, A.J. Dillon has not looked good. And this is not a new thing. Like A.J. Dillon in the last 4 years, all of his tackle breaking metrics have declined in every single season. That trend, not good, Bob. Not good at all.
All right. Some guys who are coming back in the tight end position. You're getting Mark Andrews back. You're getting Travis Kelce back. They're automatic starts. Jerry Jeudy is back too. Mm-hmm. Is he an automatic start at this point too, coming off the hamstring injury? Hamstrings are tricky. We hope he's not pushing it too soon. What do you think about Jeudy this week? Is he a guy you throw in the lineup?
Oh, you better believe, Joe. I'm massively in on Jerry Jeudy this week. He's a top 20 wide receiver, and I know that might shock a lot of people, but if he's returning to the lineup, I'm playing Jerry Jeudy like he's going to be a full go. Everything out of Sean Payton's mouth, and I get there's a little bit of hesitation on trusting Sean Payton. I understand that. But if Jerry Jeudy is truly a full go, this is a Commander secondary he can have his way with. They were top 10 in dropbacks defended in man coverage last week. Jerry Jeudy last year, top 10. He led all wide receivers of 15 or more man coverage targets in yards per route run. I think Jerry Jeudy's going to have a fantastic day. And this is also spillover that Cortland's number one option cannot draw targets at a high rate, or much less a first read share at a high rate. This all is to say that Cortland Sutton could be just totally washed at this point. And Jerry Jeudy could walk into this passing attack and command alpha level numbers this week.
All right. Sounds like a very intriguing proposition. Now, one guy who's definitely not washed is Tyreek Hill, and he had a great game last week. Hopefully, it continues for fantasy managers this week. But regardless, we're giving away an autographed Tyreek Hill jersey thanks to us because we're awesome and you love it. Look at this Tyreek Hill jersey. All you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop a comment below. That's it. That's all you got to do. But don't forget, click that little bell till it goes ding. So you know every time a piece of content drops here on the channel, and we'll notify you if you are the winner of this Tyreek Hill jersey. Let's get to the people's questions. Let's start with the Cosmic Realm. Have Amari and Puka. Do I hope they both play or start JSN, Tony, or Rashid Shaheed in the full PPR? Thanks. What do you think about this situation here? Puka dealing with the oblique issue. That seems a little bleak. It's early.
Ooh, that was bad.
D-Bro, what are your thoughts on this one, this situation where Cosmic's in?
You're starting Puka Nacua. Unless we get word that early that he is going to miss, I'm treating him as a full go. He's a top 26 wide receiver for me this week. Amari Cooper, I would sit Amari Cooper in this because
on the road,
pick your narrative. Amari's hurt, on the road, playing outdoors. I don't know, whatever Amari Cooper narrative you want to sit here and throw out there. I would play Rashid Shaheed over Amari Cooper right now, considering the risks, because if you don't have a backup option and he's out when it comes down to like game time, you're going to be screwed. So give me Rashid Shaheed over Amari Cooper, and Rashid Shaheed's going to have himself a day. No J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, and C.J. Henderson on the back end trying to stop these wide receivers? Ain't got a chance, man. Derek Carr is going to have a fantastic day, too.
Yeah, you can only start Amari Cooper at home in the month of October when the weather is 61 or 63 degrees, in that range. That's
in a leap year.
Yep. In a leap year, right? That's where you get started. Louis Barletti, Puka or Javante in the full PPR?
Puka. Let's go Puka. Puka juice,
Eric
baby.
Half PPR. Last flex, who should I start? Michael Thomas, Puka, or Justice Hill?
I'm going to lean Puka here because of the target volume. And I said, look, every one of these Saints wide receivers is in a really, really good spot. So do we see the target share kind of spread out? I think it's what's going to happen.
I can't wait to see Gus Edwards and Melvin Gordon get all the work, and everybody wasted fab on Justice Hill.
Oh,
geez. Miserable.
It's going to happen.
I got a bad feeling.
It's going to happen.
Christian Marquez, 2 flex deep league. Do I start Justice Hill or Rashid Shaheed? I think I know the answer to this one.
Shaheed, baby. Let's go Shaheed.
Derek M, half PPR. David Montgomery or James Cook. Tony Pollard, Josh Kelly, start 2 and flex 1. So who's the odd man out? Montgomery's got to be in. Pollard's got to be in. I think Cook has to be in. Kelly's the odd man out, right?
Kelly's the odd man out. Sorry. I get that he was the waiver wire
guy. Don't ever apologize
but...
for being right. You can apologize for...
Don't bro me, Joe. Don't bro me.
I'm not going to bro you. I'm still waiting for the bro graphic. We did get some honorable mentions on social media.
I saw that.
Someone made me they made me into like an anime character.
You look like a bouncer. You look like a bouncer.
I look like a bouncer anyway in this jacket.
I was laughing.
Excuse me. Let me look here. I don't think I see your name
this ID's real? Here. You call this a real ID?
Yeah,
come on.
Your name's not on the list.
Your name's not McLovin.
Brown. I don't see Brown. Yeah, McLovin. That's what you are. By the way, so now that Jimmy Buffett passed away, did you get all of his assets in that shirt? Is that what happened here today?
Wow.
Wasted away in Margaritaville?
No,
only you can off that shirt, by the way. I just want to
Tony Bahama and I are roommates, old souls together. No, man, look good.
D-Bro was at the estate sale. He was down there at Margaritaville. 700, Bob. 700 on that box of shirts.
Gosh. So how many poor Jimmy Buffett references are we going to have here, Joe?
Hey, Jimmy Buffett had a good life, man. I mean, give it a
good run.
It's a good run. We should all have a run that good. All right, Cody Ledesma just got offered Rashad White and Pittman for James Cook and Deebo Samuel. Should I do this? No, Cody. No. You're not.
Yeah, give me the James Cook side easy.
Oh, but he's got offered Rashad White and Pittman. Like, that's a hard no, Cody.
No.
It's a hard no. Be polite. Just say no, thank you. But it's a hard no.
You just message him back and you say, bro, ?
No, don't do that. See, don't do that. Always be diplomatic in trades. Now, you can think that, but just say, appreciate the offer, but not interested in that for Deebo and James Cook. That's crazy. Bold Caballero. Howdy, y'all. I like that the Caballero says howdy. That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
believe Caballero is Spanish for cowboy. John, you want to correct me on that? But I'm pretty sure
Oh
if my
gosh, you're
Spanish
gonna
is
make him
correct.
go Google that.
It's all right. He's got time. He's sitting back there. Full PPR start to DJ Moore, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Jahan Dotson. Thanks, bros.
Start 2. I'm
I
gonna
know my two.
I'm gonna go
Wanna hear
Jahan
yours.
Dotson and DJ Moore with this one.
Okay, so still not, yeah, because the Puka injury, I think that's
Puka
probably the
injury,
safest
and
way
then
to go.
CJ Stroud is banged up, and that Houston Texans offensive line is in shambles. Laramie Tunsil's going to be out. I think they only have one projected starter from even last week that's going to be active this week. So,
Colts defense, interesting pivot this week.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there. Colts defense.
Good call.
Let's go to Kim Larson, Dotson versus Kelly in the PPR flex. And yes, Caballero, John just told me, is Spanish for gentleman. But let's make it a gentleman cowboy, because that's
you made that man Google Spanish
John's,
cowboy.
John's on top of stuff. John knows what he's doing. He's hanging out. He's watching the show. He's running the ones and the twos. But let's answer the question here. Dotson or Kelly? It's Dotson, right?
Oh, it's
Kim?
Dotson. Easy Dotson.
Right.
Dotson's
Kim,
a top 24 wide receiver for me this week.
Appreciate you watching the show, Kim. All right, Robbie Thomas, 18. Trade Kamara and Thomas for T. Higgins.
No, I don't want to do that.
I don't know.
I think Michael Thomas is a wide receiver 3, and I'm still like with the state of running back right now, Joe. Alvin Kamara is going to be an RB1.
Well, you know, it's funny.
At
the end of the year, I got one share of Alvin Kamara on the cheap, and I'm really enjoying it because that team already has Breece Hall on it, who I also got on the cheap. It was a heavy wide receiver build, obviously. And I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be really interesting come, like, I don't know, mid-October, when you get Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, and Alvin Kamara all playing at the same time. That could be an interesting team. Larry Galea lost Dobbins and no Gainwell this week. Need to start one. Justice Hill or Cam Akers. It's a tough matchup for Cam Akers, but I think I got to start him anyway, D.
Yeah, I'm going Cam Akers. Just touchdown equity. I do not want anything to do with Justice Hill at all.
I can't do it, won't do it. And to help you make all these lineup decisions in the last minute too, don't forget about My Playbook. You can manage all of your fantasy lineups and dominate your leagues with My Playbook at FantasyPros. It's free. You download the My Playbook. But again, you can set all your lineups from one spot every Sunday morning. It makes life so much easier, not to mention the waiver wire assistant to help you find the right players, the trade analyzer and trade finder tools. So many tools to help you fix your fantasy lineups and fix your team so that you are winning every single week. So My Playbook is fantastic. This morning, I was searching it myself, trying to find where I had certain shares of this player or that player. I know I had Aaron Jones shares. Like, okay, which leagues do I have them in? Oh, look, this one. Boom. Let me go right through the app and make the changes. It's a time saver. It's fantastic. It's what you need to use. Let's go to Trevor Doughty, PPR league, pick 2 at running back. Gibbs, Pierce, Kelly. Those are your 3 options.
Gibbs is a locked-in RB1 for me. Gibbs is in.
Well, you just talked about the offensive line being all over the place
Kelly.
here for the Texans. Is it Kelly? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kelly because the other thing that absolutely just wrecked me in week 1, Joe, was seeing that the Houston Texans were deploying Devin Singletary and freaking Mike Boone. So this was not Damian Pierce's backfield. It makes me sad. I don't agree with it, but again, we got to adjust, Joe.
I love that Mike Boone's still in the league getting a paycheck. Good on you, Mikey. All right, Matt Willman, half PPR, flex Miles Sanders, Josh Kelly, Khalil Herbert, Mark Andrews, or Puka. Well, I'm playing Mark Andrews. Who are you playing a tight end over Mark Andrews? I'm confused.
I know. Well, you're playing Mark Andrews. So I was going to say,
Andrews.
what tight end do you have? Like,
I don't know.
Over this.
Maybe it was a Kelsey Andrews team, or maybe they have Kittle too, or so. I don't know. That's a lot.
So,
Squire.
some interesting news just hitting the wire here, Joe. I want people to sit here and adjust to it. So, Deontay Foreman is looking like he's going to be a healthy scratch today. So, we need to bump Roschon Johnson up. It's so weird. It's like people have been out here talking about how Roschon Johnson could take over this backfield.
I wonder who those people were.
I don't know.
I think they were bald, certainly handsome.
And right here.
But I mean, look, it's happening faster than we thought. But I'm not surprised.
No,
bet on talent.
Not at all.
That guy was the best guy in that room. So just going to bet on the talent. Now, full disclosure, I was not expecting this to Halloween. But if you're going to give it to me for my birthday next week, I'm here for it. Let's go. By the way, get me something nice. Just saying. All right. I got you a big hat last year. I'm just saying.
I might have already pre-ordered a Joey P present.
No, you did not. Did you really? Yay. I can't wait to see what it is. All right. T. Squire, Joshua Kelly, or Tyler Algier in the full PPR?
Ooh, let's go Algier. I'll take
That's
Algier.
interesting. I was
I'm gonna
thinking you
take
were
the
going to say
upside.
Kelly, because I think Algier still, the upside is always tainted by the fact that he's got Bijan there, isn't it? Like, he's got to fall in the end zone again to be value, whereas Kelly, it's going to give you more shots at it, isn't it? I'd start Kelly over Algier, but I think
if you're leaning the volume, but for me, for Kelly, it's hard to see the upside, Joe. Like, I guess part of this comes down to how I'm projecting that game. I think it's going to be the game of like, Kellen Moore is going to say, look, Justin Herbert, go have fun. You got pass game weapons. Just have yourself a day, man. So that's going to hurt Joshua Kelly.
It might. Jeremy Wilson. I don't love Joshua Kelly this week, but I don't love Algier anytime. Jeremy Wilson, Javonte,
Fair.
Breece Hall, or A-Chain. I'm starting Breece Hall.
Breece Hall.
Yeah, look,
Breece Hall.
The one thing you could do against the Cowboys is run the ball. That's the one thing I will say. So I think you can run on them. I would not throw on them. Zach Wilson's in for a long day.
Well, Zach Wilson's confidence has been restored. He's had a FaceTime with Aaron Rodgers this week. I think they had some Dolphin sounders in the background. Not saying what the Dolphins are doing or not doing, but been very interesting week for Zach Wilson, I hear.
If you're buying this Zach Wilson hype wagon and that win, you guys are in a bad spot. Okay.
We're down bad, Joe. We're down bad.
There's a wager on FanDuel you can make today where you can get Micah Parsons for a sack and the Cowboys to win for plus 120. Give me that. Already got 2 units on that bad boy. Let's go. Let's ride.
That's right.
You got Diggs and Gilmore, and then you got Micah Parsons rushing over the middle. It's terrifying.
Zach Wilson's going to be seeing some ghosts, man. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It's going to be bad.
My kingdom for Sam Darnold. All right. Jeremy Wilson, Javonte, Breece Hall, H.A. Oh, I did that one. It's Breece Hall. Let's go to Joseph. Joseph, half PPR, Puka, Sutton, or Gabe Davis here.
Oh, Puka easy. Puka juice.
Horatio Tapia. Great name. PPR, need one flex, one wide receiver. Flowers, White, Hopkins, Nakua. Flowers is in. I don't want to hear anything. Nobody can tell me they could say Flowers. He got 10 targets last
week. I was going to say Flowers is the automatic lock here.
Automatic. So Rashad White, Hopkins, or Nakua. And Hopkins is not healthy. Can we just say that?
Hopkins is not healthy. Hopkins, I'm going to have ranked as a low-end wide receiver 3, maybe a 4. Like, I think he's going to gut it out. I just don't know if he can make it through the entire game. He didn't practice at all this week. So if you got Hopkins and you're sitting there saying, okay, do I play Hopkins over some other like matchup type of like wide receivers or what have you? I'm sitting DeAndre Hopkins today.
He was my biggest fade, I think, of anybody. Like
I have like, I don't even know if I drafted him on one team in best
ball. And the
ball,
minute he went to the Titans, that was like, well, he's done to me. That's it.
Yep.
Like it's over.
This is where old wide receivers go to, unfortunately, retire.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Retire. Yeah. I mean, they'll live out their days with Ryan Tannehill. That's what you do. Ew. Also, don't forget, everybody who just mentioned about the wagers out there. Derek's got a ton of wagers on Betting Pros. I do too. You can go follow us on there, but also the NFL contest we're running too. Go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. It's free to join. Download the Betting Pros app. Bet smarter, not harder. The winner this season is going to get an autographed Jackson Smith and Jigbo jersey. We're giving away free swag as well every single week to Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, all these things. And we're also doing monthly prizes too. We're doing a whole bunch of upgrades, premium upgrades to Fantasy Pros, to Betting Pros. So again, it's free to join. You just got to make 5 NFL bets a week. That's it. 5 NFL bets a week on anything you want. It's free. It's fun. NFL contest. Go to the app, look for the community tab, click on it, go to NFL contest and join, or just go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Back to your questions. Cody Davis, James Cook or James Conner? Pick a James in the full point PPR.
Cook, baby. I have James Cook as an RB1 this week. Let's go.
Steve Milius, Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson?
Ooh, that's actually closer than it sounds.
Closer than you think. I know this week. I like Goff this week, but I think you got to play
I'm going to go Lamar, although it is really close.
It is. You know, what hurts Goff is, you know, a 2 touchdown game from David Montgomery.
It's true.
Or a Jahmyr Gibbs break around. You know, that hurts him. Miles Sanders or Jahan Dotson in the flex.
Dotson.
Agreed.
I don't want any part of the Carolina Panthers offense right now. Like, Sanders is going to get volume. Like,
Whatever.
But where do you feel good about the Panthers moving the ball this week, like versus the Saints defense? I don't.
Matt Gonzalez, Breece Hall, or Ayuk in a standard league?
Ayuk. Like this is pretty easy, Ayuk. I put it this way, Joey. Do the Jets even score a touchdown this week?
No, not offensive.
I mean, really, like this is a conversation and a standard.
The Cowboys have the
hunting.
Cardinals next week. There's a chance the Cowboys do not give up an offensive touchdown in the month of September. Like that's in the range of outcomes right now.
Sounds like a bold take, but it's really not.
I don't think it's bold.
It really isn't.
Look, football's a wacky game. We could come here on Monday, tomorrow, and it could be Zach Wilson threw for 3 touchdowns and they upset the Cowboys and they're going to, throw a ticker tape parade for him. I just don't think that's the outcome we're going to get. Jeffrey Paradis, Joey P&D, I need one full PPR. Garrett Wilson, Romeo Dobbs, Zay Jones, or Jerry Jeudy. Wilson, Dobbs, Zay, or Jeudy. I feel like Judy's your guy in this group.
Jeudy. It's easy, Jeudy. I'm giving a long pause here just for dramatic effect.
This is very good. It felt very dramatic. Juwan Johnson or Hunter Henry in the tight end spot?
Hunter Henry. Easy Hunter Henry.
Look at that. No pause. Turbo Graphics 16 kid. Garrett Wilson or Christian Kirk in the full point PPR. Oh, man.
Oof.
Sad
Kirk.
times.
It's going to be Kirk. Like, again, we talked about, like, I don't know if the Jets even score an offensive touchdown in this game.
Everyone keeps talking about that Garrett Wilson catch, and all I keep saying is, we talk about the Zach Wilson terrible throw.
Such a bad throw.
We talk about the bad throw there. Garrett Wilson had to tip the ball to himself just in order to catch it. And he's a miraculous talent, so he did it. So
what do we think he's going to do with Diggs and Gilmore, like, in coverage on the outside? Zach Wilson just might shy away. Like, Zach Wilson might just, like, turtle and say,
35. 3 for 35. That's my line today.
I mean, it's
5 targets,
a good line.
3 for 35.
It's a good line.
That's it.
But this way, if Wilson didn't score the touchdown last week, this wouldn't even be a question.
Oh my God. If he just stood there and went, bro, where are you throwing the football to? Like his effort level was off the charts.
And we would have all understood if he did that too.
Brandon Bond, Tank Bigsby, or Hunter Renfrow. I like Renfrow this week.
I'll go Renfrow.
With Myers out, I think you give it a shot. It might not work.
I agree.
I like Jacobs a lot in that game too. I think you see a full Josh Jacobs workload in this game. I've got some shares. I know you do too.
We're copacetic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could smell that one coming a mile away. Keaton, Jeudy, Gabe Davis, Dobbs, Dotson. Pick one. Thanks for all the content. You're welcome, Keaton. Thanks for joining us for all the content. Jeudy.
I'm riding with Jerry Jeudy, baby.
Over Dotson with Jerry Jeudy. Makes sense. Better quarterback. Yep. Unknown Hope. Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson? It's got to be Richardson.
Oh, it's Richardson. We'll give you known hope. Have hope in Anthony Richardson.
By the way, Daniel Jones truther, how'd you feel after Sunday night? How was that feeling for you? You lose any
They're
hope?
not going to play the Dallas Cowboys every single freaking
just
week.
one more time.
Dallas is going to do that to every quarterback this year. So, like, get used to it. It's 1 week, and Daniel Jones looked terrible. Every quarterback's going to look terrible versus that defense.
All right, next one here from William Clark. Tua or Lamar?
Tua. I'm going Tua.
I think I heard this correctly. If I did, correct me if I'm wrong. Tua hasn't lost to Bill Belichick yet, right?
Ooh, I don't
know.
know.
He's got a chance to go 5-0, I want to say, against Belichick, which is something no quarterback has ever done. I think I heard this on the NFL channel driving the car home from flag football yesterday. I'm pretty sure I heard that, and I went, what? That's a stunning statistic. Mo G, love your show. Thanks, Mo.
Thanks, Mo.
Love you, man. Half PPR, flex, Ken Walker, Chris Godwin, or the Puka?
I think you're going to go Walker. I don't feel great about it. I will say this. The high floor is Walker here. If you need absolute ceiling, give me Puka.
Google John, our producer, says that stat is correct. He Googled it. That way everyone's always afraid.
Quick on the Googlies, man.
Because I'm so, effervescent that people think I'm just making things up. And sometimes I am.
I was like, sometimes, I mean, come on, sausage is made. I mean, sometimes you are. It just depends.
As long as the sausage is delicious, that's all that matters. By the way, I am making sauce today. My parents are coming.
Now that's just mean. Now, I'm not here, and now you're talking about this? Come on.
Making some gavadil. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be a good time. Everybody come over to the house. Sunday dinner.
You'll be proud. My wife last week made gnocchi. So I'm look.
Made them.
She made them, dude. Like, I was like.
Pillowy and nice?
Oh, they were so amazing. Like,
the trick is you got to drain the water out of the potato. You got to really A lot of people don't do that, and that's why they get the dense gnocchi. See,
So
we're
good,
telling you important things here. Who to start, who to sit, how to make gnocchi. This is a full-service program at Fantasy Pros. All right, let's get
now
to...
I'm hungry.
Yeah, so am I. Robert Lavelle, friend of the show. Good morning, fellows. I need help for PPR. Who would you start? Damian Pierce or Joshua Kelly?
Give me Kelly. I'll take Kelly here.
Watson or Goff?
Goff. Easy Goff.
Zay Flowers or Jimmy Superfly Puka?
I'm going to go Flowers. Flowers is the man.
Robert, you're our people.
I love it, Robert.
Zay Flowers. God, I can't wait for him to put that touchdown together this week. It's going to be so good.
Zay Flowers, wide receiver 24 for me this week.
By the way, did you see that Calvin Ridley's price this week went up $1,000 on
As
DFS?
It should have.
Jumped $1,300 on FanDuel. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We tried to tell people all offseason, Joey. They didn't want to hear.
I said buy it now because the last time you're going to get it for... You're not going to see $7K all year.
I was told he'd be rusty. I was told he was old and washed. Oh, man, Calvin Ridley. So sad.
Rusty. Zoe Cold. Half PPR. Morning. Start 2. Kelly, Zay Flowers, Mike Williams, Puka.
Ooh,
I want Flowers and
Big
Williams.
Mike. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Zay and Big Mike, baby. Let's go. Big Mike's gonna have him at
Rambolino. I don't know why, but Rambolino gives me a vision of like a fairy that looks like Sylvester Stallone. Is that like a Tinkerbell-ish kind of?
I was wondering why that hit you in the funny, but now I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I want to make your wishes and your dreams come true. That's what I want to do.
Are you going to be Stallone for Halloween? That was a pretty good Stallone.
Do the things. Rashid Shaheed or Elijah Moore, and why? So Rambolino wants a why, not just good enough answer.
Why?
So why?
All right. Here's your why. Play Rashid Shaheed. And the why is because J.C. Horn is out. Dante Jackson and C.J. Henderson are not the cornerbacks that you need to be worried about. So, there's your why.
Are you watching that the Ashoka? Is that,
oh, dude. I watched Ahsoka last night. First episode. It slaps, dude. You got to watch it.
I can't get into the Star Wars shows anymore. I don't know
why. Rosario Dawson in that character?
I love her. She's great.
John, boot this man from the stream. Like, what are we doing here? Come on.
Look, everybody told me Andor is really good too. I tried to watch one, and I was like,
I haven't watched Andor. Now I'll give you that. I have not.
I watched the Boba Fett. The Boba Fett was good, but it felt like the same thing every week. Whoever did that TikTok, not Boba Fett, the other one, the Mandalorian. Sorry.
Oh, Mandalorian.
No, I did not like it. Boba Fett. I was never gonna watch. That guy's a terrible actor. But
oh my gosh.
But the Mandalorian I watched, but it was like that TikTok. You ever see that TikTok that guy did? That's hilarious. Where the guy is saying, I'm the Mandalorian. Oh, look, this is the little chosen one. Oh, we're out of milk. We have to stop at this planet and get more milk. Oh no, there's you want milk? Okay, I'll tell you where to find it, but could you kill this beast for us first? Okay, sure. And then I'll get more milk. And then, hey, I killed the beast. Here's more milk. That's pretty much the plot line every week. It's pretty much just like a video game mission every week. It was fine.
I like video games though, Joe. I'm done with it.
I do too. I like Madden.
Doesn't sound like you do.
You like Madden?
Oh, don't even start. Don't even start. Don't even start. Don't even start. I got 2 W's, okay? Okay? I got 2 wins. As far as I'm concerned,
385 yards from Isaiah Pacheco on Derek Brown.
Oh, gee. Here we go. Here we go. Now the screenshots are going to get posted on social.
I'm send that to John.
Oh, man. I'm never going to recover.
John Welling, standard need 1. Flex Gary, Terry, Laporta, or Burks.
Oof.
Not Terry this week.
I'm going city ball game. I'm going
Laporta too.
Option C.
Forget Treylon Burks. Guys, stop investing in bad offenses. The Tennessee Titans are not a good offense. It's just bad.
Treylon Burks played really bad week 1.
Are you concerned with that Spears-Henry thing, or you think that was just like
I'm very concerned. And my concern level, I'm going to be playing a lot of Tajay Spears in DFS today, as well as I'm going to have him ranked aggressively versus consensus. I mean, he outsnapped Henry.
Ranked aggressively. It's my favorite thing. I can't say ranked aggressively.
Well, I mean,
that's the funny thing. All right, let's get to another question here. Douglas, Luke Musgrave or Hunter Henry?
Oh, Musgrave. Let's go Musgrave.
Musgrave, really? Okay. All right. Is that because Watson's out and just more target share?
Watson's out. Romeo Doubs is not healthy. A.J. Dillon is dust. The Atlanta Falcons run defense is better than people give it credit for. I think that Jordan Love is going to have himself a really good day today. And I think that it's going to be on the back of Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave. Atlanta Falcons were bottom 10 in multiple metrics versus tight end last year. And they're missing, it's either 1 or 2 starting linebackers today. So Luke Musgrave is going to have a good day.
Jason Smith, Tyler Algier, and Khalil Herbert.
Algier, we just talked about it. It's going to be the Roshan show, baby.
I hope so. That'd be fantastic. But that's a really interesting bit of news too. That healthy scratch for Foreman.
Took 1 week for
I
Chicago
also
to
love
say
that nobody
you ain't
knows
it.
how to. No offense, I'm not trying to call you out, Jason. I love you, Jason, but nobody in the chat knows how to spell Tyler Algier's name, which makes me happy every week. The spellings,
it's not a lot of fun.
The alternate spellings of Tyler Algier are hilarious to me. It makes me very happy.
Algier,
Algier.
Yeah, be careful. Now he sounds like a Lord of the Rings character. Like Algier, bring this the one ring to bring
forth, and then you can get milk. I've saucy.
God, that got me.
I've saucy. Dotton.
Can't even ask a question. This is your fault, Joe. It's your fault. Go ahead.
I've saucy. Dotson, Herbert, or Sanders in the flex PPR. Pick one.
Dotson.
All right.
Go with Dotson.
Jameson Nolan. No hat D, bro. Yeah, with no hat D, bro. Sunday mornings you get no hat D, bro, because he's on TV with me on Sports Grid First. Which, by the way, if you can't get enough of this stupidity, every Sunday, 8 to 10 on Sports Grid, I do a 2-hour fantasy football show, and Derek Brown joins me for the last segment with his Furious 5. So we do DFS for hour 1, and then hour 2, we're doing other things. It's a great time. And then we lead you right into this show at 10 o'clock Eastern. Just wall-to-wall fantasy football. Randy Fugit. Where is it? Fugit. I hope it's Fugit. Let's just say Fugit.
We did not get a mature. Hold on. We didn't get. Watch how you say that. We did not have a mature rating on this stream.
Right. Randy woke up this morning and just said, Fugit. So Randy Fugit wants to know PPR Deshaun Watson or Brock Purdy.
Oh my God.
Purdy.
I gotta look at the text here.
Watson,
we're gonna go.
It's Fugit. His last name is Fugit.
We're going Brock Purdy.
Fuck it, we're playing Purdy.
I'm done.
Hamish, all the way from Scotland. Hamish wants to know how or Kenny Pickett need upside. Well, I hate to tell you, Hamish. Hamish, I don't know if the upside exists between these two, but Sam Howell. Kevin Bean, Atwell or
we're playing Howell.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Oh my God.
I can't wait for Randy Fuckett to be on the show.
Oh my God. I can't stop wiping my eyes. Oh jeez. What's the problem?
Get yourself together, Brown.
I'm trying, man. We're professionals here.
Kevin Bean has a question. Atwell or P. Ryan?
We're going to have, oh man. I'm going to go Samaje P. Ryan.
Really? Samaje P. Ryan. Why?
Okay. No, you know what? Sorry, the tears are clouding my eyes. Let's go 2-2 here.
Well, I'm just thinking if Puka's limited. Puka's
limited or anything like that. Plus, the Rams are going to have to move the ball through the air this week. They're not going to be able to run on the 49ers.
Azul. Who should I start? Josh Kelly or Breece Hall? Breece Hall. Like, let's not go crazy here.
Breece Hall.
God, it is amazing to me. You know, this is that whole thing that happens in baseball too, where it's like if relief pitchers were good, they'd be starting pitchers. Like, let's stop going crazy. Just there's a reason why Joshua Kelly is not a lead back.
It's every time. It's every week, every year.
Quarterback syndrome. It's the same thing. It's crazy every time.
Shiny new toy.
Oh God! Like, it's not that Josh Kelly can't be productive, but crap, we're gonna put him over Breece Hall.
Yeah, we just have to understand matchups and stuff too with these guys. Like this is a bottom 5 match. Like, this is terrible.
And I don't care if he's gonna split carries with Cook. He split carries with Cook last week. He's capable at any given moment of touching the ball and ripping off an 80-yard touchdown run. That's who they're
going to have to be the engine of this offense, or like we talked about, right. Joe. The Jets aren't scoring an offensive touchdown today.
Adam Fritz has a question. Should I start D-Hop or Dotson? I think it's Dotson.
Right? Dotson.
By the way,
sit DeAndre Hopkins
if you want to sit him. If you want to continue this conversation elsewhere, not on the live stream, you can always join our Discord. It's free. FantasyPros.com/chat. That's where you join it. It's free, but premium membership get you access to higher levels of all of our fantasy tools like My Playbook. Get your higher levels of Discord as well. So join the conversation over at FantasyPros.com/chat. There you go. All right, that boy 555 sit 1.5 PPR running backs Pollard, Stevenson, Hall, or Algier.
I'm gonna go Algier.
That's an easy sit. Yeah, that's pretty easy. JB, Roshan, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, half PPR, pick 2. I think it's Zay and Moore, still the wide receivers.
Sit Roshan.
NFT Metasphere. Ooh, the NFT Metasphere. Ooh. Amon-Ra St. Brown for Gibbs and AJ Brown. Holy hat. If you can get Gibbs and AJ Brown for Amon-Ra, you do that.
Sweet Christmas. In the Metasphere,
next
this is
week
a
you're
thing?
getting that AJ Brown game. He's yelling on the sidelines. Next week it's going to be 10 for 147 with 2 touchdowns for AJ Brown. It's coming.
Can I tell you how many questions I got about what to do with AJ Brown in the Discord this week? And I was like,
what?
You
Why?
Hold him? Like,
listen,
what do you...
Listen. If
I don't
you
know what
can
to
get
say. Like,
Gibbs and AJ Brown for Amon-Ra, you make that deal right now.
Oh, easy. Like,
smash.
Accept.
Smash. Florian K. PPR. Pick 2. Jerry Jeudy, Wilson, Waller, Kelly. Pick 2.
Jeudy and Waller.
Mike Chuddy. What kind of game does Josh Jacobs have against Buffalo? I think a good one.
I think a very, very good one. Buffalo has struggled against gap runs. That is the bread and butter of Josh Jacobs. Jacobs is going to be, I have him ranked right now, just for the people at home. I've got Josh Jacobs as my RB3 for the week. So a very good game.
Mackie VC. Hey, Joe and Debro need to pick one for half PPR. Godwin or Puka?
Let's go Puka.
Leonid, half PPR. Which 2 do I start? Dalvin, Gus, Akers, Quentin Johnston, or Roshan Johnson?
Dalvin and Roshan.
I think that feels right. Feels right. Let's go to Ale, Everett, or Pitts.
Pitts. Everett's not even running 50% of the dropbacks for routes.
Erickson was slamming the under on the 49.5 on Drake London. I have to admit, I slammed that under as well.
Yes, all the under. He's going to get blanketed by Jair today.
Not going to be good. Raushus Tap, A-Chain or Tony in the flex, full PPR. Raushus. You should crack that beer open early today, Raushus.
I was fixing to say, yeah, you're going to start probably day drinking.
You know what? You might think I'm crazy, but
I'm going to go A-Chain.
I think I would go Tony. Here's my reasoning, which is I think Andy Reid or Matt Nagy or somebody's committed to trying to make this work last week. And I think they are going to try one more time. And if it doesn't work one more time, then I think it's buried forever. But I don't think they're going to abandon it yet. At least it doesn't seem like it. That's how I think.
I'm going A-Chain because Raheem's already dealing with a knee injury. And I know he got full
what a
practices.
surprise. Raheem Mostert's hurt, everybody.
I know. And so that leads me to, if Raheem misses any time in this game or they split the backfield work more, then A-Chain could walk away with a sneaky good stat line today.
Andy, Bald Brothers Brigade. Excellent alliteration, as always. Breece Hall or Brian Robinson? That's Breece Hall.
Breece Hall. I want no part of B-Rob.
Christopher Melendrez. Luke Musgrave or Pitts? We did that one already.
Musgrave.
No, we did not do that one.
No, we did not do that one.
Musgrave over Pitts. Okay.
Pitts is not inside my top 12 tight ends today.
Here's one. This is going to make you depressed. Sick picks. Pittman or Garrett Wilson? I think I know the answer, and I don't think people are going to like it.
Pittman.
Yep, I think it is. Chris Jackson, if you're nasty. Godwin or Josh Kelly in the PPR? Godwin. Yes?
Godwin. Yeah.
Muhammad Munib. Star 2, DJ Moore, Garrett, Puka, Algier, Lockett. Lockett and Moore. Lock it
and more. Lock it in.
And more. Someone in Naples. Someone in Naples. Not someone.
Someone in Naples.
Higby or Musgrave?
Musgrave.
Alice Wagner. I've already hit my panic button. Caps. Oh, Alex. Alice, come on. It's only week 1. Sutton or Bourne? Thank you.
Give me Bourne.
I agree. Let's go, Kendrick. The Kendrick Bourne show. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's live a little. Floyd Simba. I'm in a bind. I believe it's bind, not in a bond. If you're in a bond, then you're on the wrong channel. That has to do with fantasy. I think it's just something you might have to figure out. Puka or Michael Thomas?
I'm going Puka.
Okay. L. Robinson says, likes your shirt. Nice shirt, bro.
Thanks.
It's excellent. Wasting away again at Margarita.
Oh my God. We went back to the buffet.
Did you find that last shaker of salt yet? Or no? Just haven't.
No, it's 5:00 somewhere though.
Yeah. It is. I could go for a margarita right now. Imagine what the show would be like if we had margaritas. This show is already ridiculous. Off the chain. Margarita.
I don't know if I would have been able to recompose myself, Joe.
Probably not. That
Probably
was pretty
not.
funny.
That's
Let's
good
go
stuff.
to El. I can't wait till next week. He's in the chat. Every question that guy asks, I want in this chat every time.
Fuck it. We're going with this.
Fuck it. Mr. Fudget. Fuck it. F-U-G-I-T, everybody. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything
YouTube,
wrong.
that's a G.
YouTube,
Okay.
It's G.
It's a G.
It's name. It's I'm not, my name is
We're
Pisapia. His
not,
name is Brown.
no profanity, okay?
Stop.
It's a
We're
family
just living our
program.
truth. That's all we're doing is
Family
living our
program.
truth here. L. Robinson, Zach Moss, or Christian Kirk in the flex.
Kirk.
Half PPR.
Kirk.
Michael Saborin? I hope I got it right. Saborin? Oh, Michael Saborin. Full PPR in the Puka, Brees Hall, or the Andre Hopkins. What terrible
accent is that? What was that?
Bad French. My French accent's not that good.
I was fixing to say, you got to
work on it for week 3. Puka or Brees Hall or D-Hop. I'm going with Brees Hall, but you're going to go Puka. Aaron, should I stash Quentin Johnson or Roshan? I think Roshan's the one.
The answer is both. But you got to pick one, true. Roshan.
The answer
really is both.
By the way, the answer to DFS is Rival Fantasy. See that segue? With superior DFS games, you can't play on any other app right now. Rival Fantasy has changed the game for good. Try Fantasy Bingo, Fantasy Sports with a twist on the classic parlor game. You can build your DFS lineup without salary caps and generate bingo cards to compete achievements and get bingo. So yeah, that's a pretty fun way of playing DFS if you ask me. If you're more of a head-to-head type, Rival challenges are around. They allow users to pick a side in 1-versus-1 fantasy player matchups. You could choose the player who is going to score more points than the other in this week. You call your shot and you go up against other users who choose the second player. So new users can go join rival.com/fantasypros23. Again, join rival.com/fantasypros23 and get a $200 deposit match plus a first play voucher after you sign up. So don't miss out on this industry leading deal for new players only right now. The future of fantasy sports has arrived. And we'll see you in the arena at Rival Fantasy. Let's get to some more questions here. Let's go to William Jones, half PPR. Is Herbert the guy, or should I be stashing Roshan or Tajee Spears? I think you should be stashing. The question is which one. If you only had room for one.
Roshan.
Okay,
he does not need an injury to take over the backfield. Tajee would.
All right, fair. Good assessment. Antoine Reynolds, is Debro in Hawaii? No, only in his heart. Only in his heart.
Do you see this non-tan? No, I'm not in Hawaii.
Javonte or Miles Sanders in full PPR? I'm playing Javonte.
I'm going Miles.
Boo. CJ Rem.
Your response was just a fart sounder?
That's right. That's the analysis we're giving. How can we get excited about anything there? And Carolina, I think, is going to
volume, man. I look, Javonte's not going to have a good day.
Is Chuba not going to get some work in there?
He will, but is Samaje not going to get some work there?
Yes, but Javonte's going to catch the football, and I believe it. Like the way I believe in Brees Hall. Too? Listen, the way I believe in Brees Hall is the way I believe in Javonte, just on a one tick down degree.
Okay,
where Javonte touches the ball one time, and Javonte has something.
So it's a bet on talent. It's a bet on talent. Then
it's a bet on talent. That's what I'm doing. I bet. Hey, last week I did a whole thing about Dalvin Cook or Brees Hall, and I said, look, I'm going to bet on talent, I'm going to bet on explosiveness, and I'm going to bet on Brees Hall. And guess what? Brees Hall, maybe not every run was good, but the ones that were really good. CJ Remp.
That's fair.
Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, or Jahan Dotson. Pick 2.
Sit Garrett Wilson. This is this is not. I'm sorry, CJ.
This is why you have to trade Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson right now could probably get you another guy that you feel better about sitting.
You think his value is low right now? Just wait until after this week.
Oh, I agree. It's
going to be under the ground.
It's going to be worse. It's going to be so worse. Mac, full PPR, flex 1. Pittman, White, Puka, Kelly.
Puka.
Also, Daniel Jones or Deshaun Watson?
Jones.
Okay. Mac is obviously having a problem. Mac sat Kirk Cousins this week. So, Mac, my question to you is, how many quarterbacks you got on this roster, bro? What are you doing here? Like, you need to make a trade or do something here. So,
or maybe Jones is on the waiver wire and he's depending on maybe dropping Watson.
I don't care. Still too many. Look, Cousins should be your quarterback every week. Cousins is going to points for you. Cousins is going to be fine. Cousins is going to throw the football every week because that defense stinks. They're terrible. Yep. So if this is a single quarterback league, Mac, You got to make some trades, drop some guys.
We
use the waiver
need to
wire,
be ranking Kirk Cousins aggressively moving forward.
because here's the problem for
we
Matt.
have
He's
to.
got Pittman, Puka, Kelly. Like you got guys
Mhm.
like, I don't know who I want to start. Take one of the quarterbacks and take one of these guys and turn into somebody better at wide receiver. Go get Zay Flowers.
Fair.
Parsonator 78 full PPR. Kincaid or Musgrave for tight end help.
We're going to go Musgrave, Parsonator.
No, the Parsonator is going to be
Parsonator.
fantastic. You're going to play him all the time. You're going to play the Musgrave. He's going to be fantastic.
He's going to score the touchdowns today.
There's all kinds of touchdowns everywhere on the field. It's going to be spectacular.
You should be Schwarzenegger now.
Schwarzenegger's good. The French.
Schwarzenegger's good. The French needs work.
The French needs work. I got to spend more time with Alon. He and I have to get on.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Zoom calls for y'all weekly.
Mm-hmm. He is such a funny, angry French fellow. He's the best. I love Alon. Alon works in our development side of things.
I would not categorize that man as angry. I want to hug him every time I see him.
Oh, I do too. But he is so funny. He is so like just love it. Shout out to Alon. I know he's not watching. Great human. He is sleeping somewhere. But all right, let's get to Skilly. Flex me, bros. Full PPR. Pick one. Damian Pierce, Breece Hall, or Zay Jones.
Floor is Breece. Ceiling is Zay Jones.
Heather Mendez, happy Sunday, gentlemen. She uses gentlemen, I'm sure, pretty loosely as a term.
Very loosely.
Need to start Cooper, Gabe Davis, Zay Jones, Rashid Shaheed, Jamal Williams. Full PPR. Cooper, Davis, Zay,
Shaheed, and Swaggy Jamal Williams.
Swaggy Jamal Williams. He is a fun character, isn't he? He's a fun little sprite.
He's an easy guy to root for.
He is. Him and his Pokemon. Grayson, Zay Jones, or whatever. Pokemons. Zay Jones or Nico Collins for Grayson, PPR.
Might
have to try Zay, don't you?
I'm gonna go Zay with all the stuff with Houston's offensive line and CJ Stroud banged up. I'm gonna go Zay Jones. I'm gonna drop Nico Collins in ranks.
By the way, that's really the CJ Stroud injury pop up was really disconcerting to me. I felt like it came out of nowhere this week. So I don't know if it's something that happened to practice.
Well, and then on the back end, like the injury reports for Houston doesn't match up with the beat writer reports. Like if you're reading the beat writer reports, it's like CJ Stroud didn't practice much at all this week. But then you look at the injury reports and it's like, well, those look like he practiced in full until Friday.
It's like, I don't know. Something's weird there.
So yeah, something's wackadoo.
Make sure you stay with us too, because after we go away, more sane, normal people will take over the show and do a better job than us. Tara Roberts and the Welsh will take over for the next hour. So make sure you don't go anywhere if you didn't get your true professionals, not morons like us. So make sure you stay around for all of them. Continue to get your questions answered here on Fantasy Pros. Don't forget to like this stream, because again, it's like the least you can do literally, and we appreciate it here at Fantasy Pros. But also don't forget to subscribe and drop your comment below, because when you do, you might just win a Tyreek Hill autographed jersey thanks to us, because we're fun and we're awesome giving this to you. Subscribe, drop a comment, click the bell till it goes ding. That's all you got to do to win that jersey. Win it. That is going to be a valuable piece right there. So drop some comments below. All right. And don't forget to subscribe too. We're well over 200. We're at 212, I think I saw this morning. Look at us. Just blowing up.
Pump it up, baby. We got to get to that quarter milli.
Who knows? Who knows what Pat Fitzmaurice is going to say on the waiver wire show tomorrow, too. In case you missed it. And from the numbers, I don't think you missed it, because the numbers for that show are insane.
What are we trying to know? Was it over 160K for that
173, I think.
The people have spoken, Joey. They love the Puka juice. They've
167 or 171. But look, Pat Fitzmaurice last Monday was drinking the Puka juice. I can't wait to see on Monday.
Oh, he was guzzling it. Mm-hmm.
Don Pianta. Pick two: Ayuk, Debo, Evans, and Adams. Oh, this is an interesting problem.
Oh, this is interesting.
I kind of want to start the 49ers.
I was fixing to say, nah, man, I'm going with it. Give me Ayuk and Debo.
Why do you always have to fix this 49ers? Why can't you just say it?
Because I had to wait until you got done saying
I'm
things.
Fixing to.
I did say it now. It's in the past tense.
I'm fixing to update my rankings. I'm fixing to. I'm gonna fix it.
Well, I do. I'm fixing to do a lot of things, Joe. Until I do them.
Why you just do it? That's a problem.
I will.
You're just fixing to do it. Just do it. Carlos Pena.
Like you're fixing to sit here and answer another question? Okay.
I'm fixing to bring up a new question. I am.
Don't you do the moseying thing to me, okay?
like a Warner Brothers cartoon character. Like, I'm fixing to
Jeez.
Carlos Pena. Nobody has more fun talking football than us. Nobody.
Nobody.
Football is serious, but it's also fun. It's a fantasy football. Have a good time. Carlos Pena, full PPR, not POR, I assume. Jahan Dotson or Brian Robinson. Go ahead, say it. Nobody got broed today. I'm very proud.
Nobody got broed. I thought you were about to bro somebody on that one, but no bros.
No, I wasn't gonna bro that one. I'm not gonna bro it yet, but like that was bro.
Ish. Somewhere in the bro area code.
Thomas Conover, Najee, or Rashad White in the full PPR.
Rashad.
Not me. I'm going Najee still. Sorry, I'm just.
I'm surprised you didn't give me a fart sounder for that one.
I'm fixing to start Najee Harris this week. That's what I'm fixing to do. Dylan,
why is this a thing? Why is this a thing?
With my jacket.
Why? Oh my!
I don't know what you do. You just do it. That's just.
You remind me of Joe Pesci when you do that. I don't know why, but you do.
It's fine. I'll take it. I met Joe Pesci in person once. It was.
I know.
This story. We don't have enough time.
This is a story for another day. We don't have time for this story.
Dylan on the half-point PPR. I need one running back, one wide receiver out of this group. Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Romeo Doubs. And should I trade Kirk for Roshan? That's interesting.
Considering your running backs, I think you get rid of Kirk for Roshan. I would go Dalvin and Zay.
All right. 5 more minutes, and then we're fixing to move over to Tara and the Welsh. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around these parts. Get your fantasy going here.
Jeez,
the South loves me. They love me. Florian K, PPR. Such a Northeast elitist. Florian K, PPR, flex to Jeudy, Wilson, Waller, Kelly. Who do you want?
Jeudy and Waller.
Jeudy and Waller. By the way, if Waller doesn't have a good game today or comes out with a hamstring injury,
don't put that evil on me.
I'm asking. I gotta ask
even
the question.
Start. No.
For those people who are like, okay, I stuck with Waller. Last week was crap. Let's go week 2. Here's a question for you. If Waller doesn't perform up to expectations this week, should everybody be buying Sammy Laporta? Because I still see his roster percentage is far too low.
People should already be rostering Sammy Ball game. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, but look, I don't think people do that. I think they say, they in the casual leagues, people, how they are with the tight end position. They just don't do that. So I actually want to see what that roster percentage is.
Well, then all the rookies don't produce as tight ends narratives, that people are.
Well, look, everything's a narrative until it's
and quoting 1980 stats with it,
You want to take a guess what his roster percentage is on Sleeper?
Oh gosh, 12%.
No, it's not. It's not crazy. It's over 50, but it's.
It should be higher than that.
It's
like 64%. It should be like 65, 70.
He's still out there in a lot of leagues. All right, let's go to a couple rapid fire. Tyler, AJ Dillon, Damian Pierce, or Javonte for a flex?
Javonte.
Kirk Levinder, James Conner, or Miles Sanders at RB2?
Conner.
And Kirk just went premium.
So welcome to the family, Kirk. Come on, baby. Let's go.
We're selling subs. We're doing stuff here. Why? Because we're fun. We're entertaining. Everybody just doesn't need to be all serious all the time. We're fixing to do record numbers this year, Fantasy Pros. With all
we're not fixing to, Joe. That's we're doing that. That's in process.
We're not going to fix to do anything else. No. Gage, Gibson, Rashad, White, Flowers, or Dotson at flex.
Flowers, but this is a good problem to have. Flowers and Dotson should be in your lineups.
Can you start Flowers twice? All right, a couple more. Kieran Renshaw, hello from Scotland. Awesome.
Gibbs, can you do a Scottish accent? Can we get that for this?
Hey, Kieran wants to know is that Jahmyr Gibbs or Jamal Williams is standardly scoring. Which one do you want to know there?
Good. I like that.
The Irish is good too. It's the French. We're
going to go Gibbs. I'm going to butcher it. I'm not even going to try because you're going to put me to shame. That was good.
You know why I can't do the French accent? Because I have no surrender in me. That's why. Trung Vo, Watson or Purdy? I think you got to go Watson. No, really, Purdy over Watson with the rushing equity still.
Purdy.
Watson was QB5. It was ugly, but he was QB5.
I mean, he's got rushing, but he can't throw the damn ball. So
care.
Balances out.
Good. Run it more. All right. Let's do one more here. Jeff Godowski, Kirk or Zay Jones?
Zay Jones.
All right. I lied. We'll do one more. Monty Bryan, hi Fantasy Pros, full PPR, Kyron Williams, Cam Akers, or Brian Robinson for RB2. Oof.
Let's go Kyron.
And then Ayuk or Zay Jones in the flex. I think it's got to be Ayuk, right?
It's gonna be Ayuk.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Now stay with us because adults are going to come into the room.
True professionals.
True professionals. The Welsh and Tara Roberts are going to take you through the next hour answering your questions. We appreciate you being with us. Make sure you drop the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the stream because our coverage picks up with Welsh and Tara right now.
I think, well, yeah, we're live, but we can't hear Chris right now. But that's okay. We can go ahead and get started while he's fixing a couple of things. So we can go ahead and jump into some questions too. All right. Let's jump in with Mr. Peach, Lamar Jackson, or Jared Goff. Lamar Jackson for me. I know, now granted, this is not a knock on Jared Goff at all. Jared Goff is a massive play for me this week. I absolutely love him against that Seattle defense. I love him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, but at the same time, I have to go with Lamar Jackson with the rushing upset. I do expect him to bounce back. We have to remember last week's performance against Houston was it was just a bad matchup. We underestimate the pass defense from Houston and the strength that they have and the fact that you just want to run on them. So at the end of the day, I do expect a bounce back week for Lamar Jackson, and I gotta go with him over Jared Goff. I cannot hear Chris anymore. I still can't hear Chris. Oh, man. That's okay. That's okay. We'll take some more questions here. We will do a question from Tyler Rose, full PPR, Tyler Algier, or Jalen Waddle. Now, granted, we love what we saw out of Tyler Algier last week. I'm still going to go with Jalen Waddle on this one, especially in full PPR. The thing about Tyler Algier here is that, as the season goes on, if those goal line touches, some of those start to teeter towards Bijan Robinson. And we've got Cordero Patterson coming back in. So that little pass volume that Tyler Algier got is probably going to go down too. So while Tyler Algier is still a fine flex for me, I got to go Jalen Waddle over Tyler Algier. No, and we still got no Chris. Oh man, that's okay. All right, let's move on and go to the next question here with Ryan Nickel, Roshan Johnson, or Roshan Johnson or Rashad Bateman. Very similar names. Got me thrown off right there for a second. I'm going to go with Rashawn. Yeah. Again, we saw that Donta Foreman is not going to be playing this week. Now, granted, that could bode well for Khalil Herbert too. But when I look at what we saw I think Roshan Johnson, what we saw out of him last week and what he gave us really just made the Bears feel confident. This can be a split backfield between him and Khalil Herbert. So while I'm not running away from Khalil Herbert, I am running towards Rashawn Johnson here because we've got the pass catching upside that he offers. It's a much better matchup this week. So we should see some, better production out of them as well. And then with Rashad Bateman, we've got Mark Andrews coming back. We've got, Zay Flowers that asserted himself over Bateman last week. And then we've got Odell as well, who wasn't flashy, but he had the highest snap count out of the entire receiving core last week. So unfortunately, I just kind of think Bateman is kind of slotting down there behind Mark Andrews, behind Zay Flowers, behind Odell. That's a bad place to be in a passing offense that isn't extremely high volume. So it's Rashawn for me.
Help.
There we go. We've got Chris.
Oh my God.
I'm
like doing it open. Nothing's happening. Let me tell you something real quick. Tara Roberts. We love Tara. It's Tara time. I guess I'm here at Is It the Welsh. That is the epitome of this week. I don't trust week 2 at all. As far as I can throw it, I don't trust it. The gambling, the things we think are chalk. Those are going to be my answers. I don't trust it. So just like that. That set me up here. So thank you for holding that down, Tara. Thank you guys for hanging out. I don't know what that was, but I'm glad to be here. We're glad to answer some more of your questions. Do want to remind everybody, if you would like a chance, right over to I think it's my right. If you want a chance to win a signed Tyreek Hill jersey with the Dolphins, courtesy of bettingpros.com, this is your place to start betting smarter and not harder. That is bettingpros.com. All you need to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that is it. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on those notifications so you're alerted when we got new episodes and you can claim your prize. Tara, how are you? I just was talking into the void there for a minute. How are you this week?
I am fantastic. I didn't notice you were talking into the void. I assumed it was me because I'm the one with all the technology issues like constantly. So I was like, he's talking. It's probably me that just can't hear anything. So I'll just pretend like it's all good on my end.
It'll be next week because Tara's power went out at the back end of last week's stream. And then I'm just like blop, blop, blop talking into the beginning. But all right, shut up, Welsh. Let's stop. Tara was already answering questions. Let's get to answering questions. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Where did you leave off?
I think next one up, let's take the question from Mitch Taylor there.
All right, from Mitch, okay, Mitch Taylor. Cole Kmet or Dalton Kincaid, half PPR, the infamous tight end questions, Tara. So where do you go?
It is. And I literally have my ratings pulled up on tight ends because it's that close. Like, it's kind of scary. Like, you can't even remember because they're all kind of jumbled up together. But it is Cole Kmet for me over Dalton Kincaid. He's just a nice stable option in my opinion. When we're looking at, stability that you can get out of the tight end position, it ain't really there as a whole, but Cole Kmet seems like he's just a fine portion of the Chicago offense and you should be able to trust him. Dalton Kincaid is interesting. I did move him up higher this week because the matchup obviously is a lot better this week for him. So I expect more production out of him, but I still trust going with Cole Kmet a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side for Kincaid for the upside. I think with so many of these tight ends, like I'm just playing upside if I'm not on the high end of those guys. The guys that you don't need to ask questions on. Anybody else, I think I'm on the high upside. Also, the Bears need to prove that they can throw the ball. And I think that's going to start today with DJ Moore. Fun one I'm on personally, but DJ Moore reception prop today is 3.5. Like everywhere. So I am smashing that, which you could check out and track if you're on the Betting Pros app and you followed me on there. You'll know that that's one of my bets. So, and not to say, I think Cole Kmet's like a fine, middle line, safe tight end, but I think the upside on Dalton Kincaid is where I'm going to go with that. Jason says Romeo Dobbs. This is a great question. Romeo Dobbs as Christian Watson looks to be out today versus Puka Nacua, who popped up with a shoulder injury and is in for today against my 49ers. So Dobbs or Puka?
So I'm not scared of Puka's injury. It sounds like he was, not at risk at any portion of the week, even when he did pop up. But what makes me lean towards Romeo Dobbs over Puka is, first of all, matchup for Puka is a little bit more difficult. We saw the 49ers defense as a whole come out there just so aggressively, just absolutely terrorizing Pittsburgh last week. But Christian Watson out, you have to remember Romeo Dobbs and the production he had last week. That was on less than 50% snap count. He was limited last week. So he came off the injury report on Friday. Fine, good to go. Romeo Dobbs is going to be someone who we're going to probably see more towards the 80+% of snaps this week. And I cannot wait to see the level of production that he has as the wide receiver one on a full snap count this week. So it's Romeo Dobbs for me.
Yeah, I'm with Romeo Dobbs on this one as well. I will say if you're playing in full PPR, I might lean towards Puka. I think we're kind of stepping into a little bit of an unknown. What we did know is 15 targets last week. He was the main target for the Rams. 49ers secondary is a little bit more susceptible, especially if you can throw the ball. Kenny Pickett could not. So that opens up this opportunity where it's Puka could get another 6, 7, 8, 9 catches, something like that. But we just don't know the severity of the injury and what ends up getting taken off. On the Packers side of this, I just think without Aaron Jones, without Christian Watson, Dobbs is going to be more of a target monster. I think this is a better matchup for the Packers. I do worry that this one gets on the ground a little bit more. Atlanta's got to show something, but which I hope is passing to Bijan Robinson, another 2.5 receiving prop today. But I think Romeo Dobbs looks to be the number one. Also, I'm putting Jaden Reed in some DFS stuff today. So if you're looking for deeper league things, you could go with Jaden Reed. But I'll go with Dobbs on this one for maybe a little bit more touchdown equity. And I think they could probably be close in catches at the end of the day. Jamar says half PPR, Knox, Musgrave, or Hurst. Our tight end question. I bet you if we could get some stats on our streams, Tara, it is 60% tight end questions, and I don't blame anybody.
Oh yeah, these tight ends, I swear. I get it, man. It is stressful. We don't know what we're gonna get, and there's just like a whole bunch of them that are just kind of jumbled up together. Hayden Hurst is just barely for me the guy that I want to go with there. I mean, I think that if we're looking at, so now granted, you get a little bit concerned, is it going to stick or not? But that Carolina receiving core just as a whole is very underwhelming. And we've got a rookie quarterback that, just might want to rely on his tight end a little bit more. So I just think he's the more stable option out of that grouping. Again, good matchups for Knox and Musgrave, obviously with the, addition of Christian Watson being out. But Hurst is the one for me that I kind of lean towards as being that lock to get you double-digit plus points in PPR this week.
Luke, that's my tight end. I'm going Luke Musgrave, 1,000%. Luke Musgrave, everything I mentioned. You have two receiving options out for the Packers. Musgrave already got some target share last week. This is against Atlanta. Yeah, I have Luke Musgrave as a tight end 1 this week. I believe I have him. Well, I'm looking at ECR. I think I have him at 12, and I believe ECR half PPR on FantasyPros, the consensus ranks. He is number 14. He is who were we just? It was Musgrave versus who? Hurst and
Knox and Hurst. Yeah.
Okay, so Knox is, I'm looking on here. Hurst is 21 and Knox is 26. If you're looking for the consensus ranks, if you care on that one, but I am all about Luke. All right. Let's see. Marco says, "Hey, love the show. Half PPR, Roshan or Tutu Atwell." What do you think, Tara?
It is Roshan for me. I know that feels maybe a little bit reactionary to the news this morning of Donta Foreman being out. But again, you got to kind of look at that backfield and say that, one, this is a better matchup, and two, Rashawn has the pass catching upside. And now if we've got this backfield locked down to these main two guys between Khalil Herbert and Rashawn Johnson, he's going to continue to get those, further opportunities. And again, Tutu, I just kind of worry about him and, within that offense and how that matchup is going to look like against San Francisco. So I'm going with Rashawn.
Yeah, and we saw Rashawn get more run, 5 carries, 20 yards. He got 7 targets last week. So being involved in the passing game, I still think Khalil Herbert is a great back. Yeah. Maybe you're going to end up I'm going to take an L long-term if Roshan does take a big force of this. But, as a rookie to get 12 theoretical touches on targets, 11 touches, but they tried to throw, that 7th time. I think that just makes him a lot more involved. It makes him a lot more of an option. San Francisco's defense is tougher. Tutu, that's fine what he did last week, but that doesn't do enough for me. I'd also probably try to side on running backs that have a better share anyways when I can. All right, let's see. Next up, actually, I think we have another one here. Jinx said start 2 in full point PPR. Breece Hall, Ken Walker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Roshan, and Rachaad White. I'm going to axe Roshan out of this because he doesn't belong with this group. So it's Breece Hall, Ken Walker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Rachaad White, full PPR, Tara.
Despite the fact that, so first of all, it's, Kenneth Walker is the one for me for sure. But despite the fact that it is a terrible matchup, and despite the fact that we've got Zach Wilson that's absolutely going to be obliterated, and they can probably just stack the box and stop the run or try to, can they really stop Breece Hall? I don't know. I'm going with Breece Hall. I think he's still a high upside option play here over the other guys. It's not that I don't love Jahmyr Gibbs and the potential that he has, and it's a fantastic matchup. That's the only one that I kind of teeter towards, but I just get a little bit concerned that we still get a little bit limited Jahmyr Gibbs. Kenneth Walker for sure, and then I bounce back and forth between Breece Hall and Jahmyr Gibbs, but I kind of lean towards going with Breece Hall after what we saw last week.
I think I'm going to join you on this one because Breece looks so good, and whatever, usage they want to end up putting on him. Now it's a tougher matchup. It's a much tougher matchup. Like even if it's a lower usage, he just still looks so good. Gibbs is out for me only simply because of the options you have. And let's stop with this whole like you're gonna be amazed with what you see with Gibbs. Let's stop with that and let's actually see it happen before we even consider him. So he's out. I think Rachaad White could end up being the number one out of all these guys. But I think if I'm looking for home run play, I'm going with Breece Hall. And I think Ken Walker, just from a volume, that offense, I think it's 47 is the overline, points to be scored. I like the over in that game. Ken Walker be a part of that. So I will join Tara. We agree on that one. Jay Bananas says, I got a spot better lotto ticket. Rico Dodal or Damian Harris. So Dodal or Harris?
Rico. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I mean, you do have to consider the likelihood, unfortunately, of, we've seen, Tony Pollard potentially coming off of that injury. We've seen a lot of guys coming off of injuries like this and the hamstrings popping up, unfortunately. I've seen some very smart people with medical backgrounds that actually have made the ties to that. So that's not me referencing that of my lack of knowledge. But yeah, you got to kind of figure that the one that might have the opportunity to step in as the RB1 there is going to be Rico Dottle. Damian Harris actually slotted behind Latavius Murray last week. That was not good. He might not be the guy that we thought he was going to be. And Latavius Murray might be the one who is more so the direct handcuff that would see more volume if James Cook were to go down.
The question is what makes it interesting because like on the surface, I'm going to like disagree to say like I would start Damian Harris because Damian Harris is a goal line back. You looking at touchdowns. But if you're talking about the actual lottery ticket, then that's where Rico changes this conversation. The only problem is it's shrouded in like ifs and buts and candies and nuts, and we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Like that's what it's shrouded in. Like, well, if Pollard goes down, then he could be. So there's your kind of like big home run lottery ticket. If you're trying to put someone in that maybe can do something, Damian Harris is probably that for me. Just simply, you could have 4 carries but 2 touchdowns, but he's not really like a home run lottery ticket. So you can take that however you want. I'm not sure I'm fully answering that, but I think Tara's right in the like the home run call side. That is Rico. You guys got a lot of questions in managing your lineups. Well, Fantasy Pros can help because you can manage all of your lineups and dominate your leagues with My Playbook from Fantasy Pros. My Playbook is a suite of powerful tools to help you make better decisions, manage your lineups, and win your leagues. Created by Fantasy Pros, the #1 fantasy sports advice and tools provider in the world, this app is going to let you import your team to get custom fantasy football news, rankings, and analysis. So sync your leagues today at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or download directly to your Apple or Android device. I got my suite of emails, by the way, with all of the advice. It had breakdowns. Then later in the week, it had advice. You can get the same, just another piece to help you out. So go and check them out today. Plus, you want more conversation, get a premium account with Fantasy Pros, and you can join up with the Discord, which is at fantasypros.com/chat. Get in the conversation, talk about all of your stuff, talk about your leagues, talk about your lineups. Do it today. Join the Discord chat, fantasypros.com/chat. Let's go. All right. Jennifer says half PPR. Oh, I love this one. Garrett Wilson or Dobbs. And then there's a secondary one. So let's start with Dobbs or Garrett Wilson. I'm just going to throw out again. I like to bet props. Garrett Wilson's receiving prop receptions are 3.5 this week. Just think about Garrett Wilson and think about that. It is low. You talked about Dobbs earlier, Tara, and how we like him being the #1. Garrett Wilson's still the #1. The problem are the quarterbacks. So who would you choose in half PPR?
Yeah, it's Romeo Dobbs. I can't get to Garrett Wilson this week. If he gets there, it's all him. He's out there probably reaching 3 feet above him to get whatever pass Zach Wilson is throwing at him. If it even makes it, past the point of getting intercepted. So I get so concerned about Garrett Wilson this week. It's very risky. I can't do it. Romeo Dobbs is the guy that I definitely prefer to start on that one.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Jennifer. I get Garrett Wilson. I just can't bench Garrett Wilson
really?
Yet. Like I know the situation, but Garrett Wilson also had games where he caught like 6 balls last year. Like it's not completely done. One of the small reasons, and this is me projecting a little bit, but like one of the small reasons you can imagine it looked so bad in that game was he was thrust into it. I mean, how often do you think Zach Wilson was working with the ones in camp and he was thrust into this situation? You have a week ahead with Brees back. You've got Dalvin that you have to work Garrett Wilson in this lineup. They can't just pound the ball against the Dallas Cowboys. So he's going to get the ball. The bigger point to what you're saying is like, that's fine that they have to throw the ball, but will they be, 20 feet above? Are they going to be at his toes? I think you're going to have screen passes. I think we're going to get in there. We obviously like Dobbs here, but I just can't get too cute with my roster. I got to put Garrett Wilson out for one more week to believe it, but I wouldn't blame anybody for coming off of him. I wouldn't blame anybody. The second question was Puka or Pacheco. So that must be at a flex spot.
I love what I saw out of Pacheco last week. So long term, like he's a fine trade target for me. Love him. I would still go with Puka. Half PPR, volume for him is going to be there. So I would prefer to go with Puka as the far higher upside swing than Pacheco.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you with the same. Like I love my dear Scott Bogman, but I'm not on the Pacheco as much as he is. And I mean, he's going to get his stuff, but Puka, I still like the targets to be there. Volume. If this isn't full, it's half, so maybe it changes a little bit. But I'm here. I don't even know. We may have actually literally answered this, but I'm gonna just throw it one more time. Yatter said Dobbs and Puka half PPR. Did we get this exact one? Or is it just okay? Yeah, it was this exact
and
one.
I think this is a common combination because I did the live on the FantasyPros Instagram earlier, and I swear I got that combination maybe 5 times. So people got a lot of Romeo Dobbs and a lot of Puka. It's Dobbs. I think that's what we both said earlier.
I think so. Alfredo said Raheem Mostert or Khalil Herbert full PPR. Now that's interesting because we saw Roshan dominate the receiving side, so that might take him out of a little bit. But how much are the Dolphins, going to be throwing to Mostert in general? So, what side?
It's Mostert for me. Again, full PPR. I can't know if I can trust it to that level with Khalil Herbert. Mostert is just the guy that I think is going to get the better opportunity.
Ding, I'm going to go with you. So make that 2 of us. Easier decision. Big Dylan says Brandon Ayuk or Jalen Waddle. We're getting cute again. Jalen Waddle, I get it. It's a tougher matchup. Props look a little bit lower this week, and Ayuk looked incredible. But did Ayuk do enough, or is Waddle's matchup that bad that we are going to start Ayuk over Waddle?
I am still going with Jalen. Now, it's a bad matchup. I get that. But at the same time, I don't expect the offense to just absolutely go down in flames against this defense. So it's still Jalen Waddle. I love Ayuk. Yeah, moved him up significantly in rankings, but you still got to go with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that Ayuk is not going to be the dude. I am going to say that, I guess I did this last week, but this is a Debo week. I looked back. Debo, every game against the Rams, including playoffs since 2000 on, he has had like 90 plus yards receiving in every single game against the Rams. The only time he hasn't are his rookie year where he played the Rams twice. I think he combined for like 50 yards. He dominates the Rams. And I think there's going to be a big focal point on Brandon Ayuk. Also, the 49ers are kind of hard to gauge because there's so many good ones. Jalen Waddle is just a great PPR option. I actually think one of the things I like is against tough defenses is if the defenses are going to probably have a primary focus on shutting down Tyreek Hill. This is where Waddle can have an 8-catch game. So I'm absolutely starting Waddle in this scenario. Nothing against Brandon Ayuk. Cjo says Josh Kelly or Dameon Pierce.
It's Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly has been a tough one for me this week because while he's going to be the clear RB1. It's a terrible matchup. It's such a terrible matchup against that Tennessee defense. But what I'm, hoping here and thinking here with Kelly is that the offense as a whole will be fine. Justin Herbert is going to move the ball up and down the field, and those goal line opportunities, without a doubt, go to Joshua Kelly. So at the end of the day, he has volume. He's going to have goal line opportunities and an offense that is going to move well compared to Dameon Pierce, who is on an offense that isn't going to move well, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm going with Josh Kelly. This is a pretty easy one for me. I got Josh Kelly like pushing into the teens. I actually kind of like this Colts and Houston matchup. I got a little bit off of it when CJ Stroud has been banged up because he was one of my sleeper quarterbacks of the week. Love Nico Collins this week, but I'm not sure I think this game also moved to a pick'em. This was like this had about like this is like a 2-point spread move. I just don't know that Houston is going to be in a spot where Dameon Pierce is going to be able to get like a big old bulk of carries. They might be playing from behind some. So yeah, Josh Kelly is the guy. He's going to be the guy without Ekeler there. So that's a pretty easy one. Eric says Monty or baby bro Cook. So James Cook versus David Montgomery, half PPR.
Baby bro Cook. Was it James Cook, right?
Yeah, James Cook.
Yeah. So so James Cook is the one. I love James Cook this week. He has genuine RB1 potential this week, easily for me. I mean, what we saw out of him last week was he is the dominating factor in that backfield. He has no competition. It wasn't even close. And I like what I saw out of him in a terrible matchup. This is a good matchup. James Cook all the way.
All right. Typical says trade away Najee and Garrett Wilson for Jahmyr Gibbs and Musgrave. Says I don't need tight ends, so I'd try to trade Musgrave. So Najee and Garrett Wilson got to give away Musgrave and Jahmyr Gibbs. What do you think, Tara? This one hurts.
I prefer this one is tough. So the upside for Gibbs is so high, but at the end of the day, I don't see top 5. I love Musgrave. I don't see top 5 potential for him. And it doesn't move the needle for me. We talked about Garrett Wilson in this matchup and how difficult it is, but when we're talking about the season as a whole, we know that Garrett Wilson can be a low-end wide receiver 2 with Zach Wilson. We know that can happen. So we're talking about a RB1 that should see better days in Najee Harris and a wide receiver 2 lock in Garrett Wilson. I prefer the Najee and Garrett Wilson side to that.
Me too. I was also hoping if this were like some type of a keeper, this would be even better and sexier, but it's not. That's fine. But yeah, I'm going to go with, I don't think Garrett Wilson is cooked. It's just, we might not get, high wide receiver 1 anymore. It might be somewhere into the middle line wide receiver 2. And then you're still getting once the Steelers figure it out, which they will, by the way, they'll figure it out. I know everybody is calling for Jaylen Warren. Najee's going to keep getting the run. I'm just not sold on volume for Jahmyr Gibbs this year. I'm not saying he can't be great. I'm just not sold that this is massive volume because Dave Montgomery looks good. They like him. They're going to use him early on. So if you're capped the whole season on Jahmyr Gibbs, okay, like I don't know, is Jahmyr Gibbs going to be that much better than Garrett Wilson? And then you're looking at Najee Harris versus Musgrave. You don't need the tight end. Najee and Garrett Wilson for me. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if we have a poll function. That would be an interesting one to put as a poll sometime. All right, Chris says Burrow or Tua. I think these guys know my favorite bit is doing the full PPR with the quarterback after is my favorite thing. Burrow or Tua.
So it is just slightly Burrow. I love him for a bounce back week this week. It's not a knock on Tua. I still have him as a QB1, but I think that I would still prefer to go with Joe Burrow on this one.
Yeah, I got Burrow in there. He comes in at 8. Tua comes in, or I'm sorry, he comes in at 6, and Tua comes in at 8 on the Fantasy Pros consensus ranks. Michael says, howdy guys, just wanted y'all's opinion. 12-team standard, Zay Jones or Romeo Doubs. I think we're both going to say Doubs there. We don't need to. Yeah. We've talked a lot about Doubs, but Doubs is going to be the option here. He's also a touchdown play. Though I like Zay, that is easily Doubs. Jackson says full PPR, Jerry Jeudy, Josh Kelly, Christian Kirk, or Treylon Burks. Let's lop Burks off completely. And with your approval, I think we could lop off Kirk here, Tara, and make this a Jeudy. Okay, this is a Jeudy Josh Kelly question then.
Yeah. And the problem is that I don't know if I can trust Jerry Jeudy coming off a hamstring injury to get a full workload. I have not seen anything saying there will be limitations, but I mean, it is Sean Payton. Would he really tell us that? No, probably not. So I kind of lean towards going with the safety of Joshua Kelly over Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I don't lean. I go hard for Joshua Kelly on this one, just because we also know what the running backs do in the Chargers offense. So Josh Kelly should catch some balls. We know he's going to be the main guy. Might make CJ Spiller annoying today. Just throwing that out there for everybody. But Kelly is going to be the option for me over Jeudy. He's coming off of injury. Maybe Marvin Mims steps up. We just don't know what that's going to be. So it's pretty easy, Kelly. Jeff says White, Pierce, Kelly. So I'm guessing Rashad White, Damian Pierce, or Kelly. So pick one. Don't know the format. Let's just assume half PPR.
It's Kelly.
It is. It might be Rashad White for me. I love Rashad. If it's
You're very forgiving.
If it's full PPR, it's Rashad White for me. If it's half PPR, maybe Kelly, like slight Kelly. So that's probably your area. Dirt says standard. Pick one running back and one wide receiver. We've got Godwin, DJ Moore, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Dodson. So let's start there for the wide receiver. We got to pick one. Godwin, Moore, JSN, Dodson.
The standard makes this.
Yeah, we're touchdown plays here.
Yeah. So I lean towards DJ Moore. You gotta forgive him for what happened last week. He was locked down by Jair Alexander. That was expected. I like both Fields and Moore to bounce back this week. So it's DJ Moore for me for the wide receivers.
Yes, with a slight lean to say Dotson literally lives to score touchdowns. So
it is. Yeah, that's what makes it tough.
He might be, but like I'm big for DJ Moore this week. I know Debro and Joe both are, so I think it's pretty unanimous around the worlds here that we are for DJ Moore. On the running back side, Pierce, Kelly, and Roschon. We already said Kelly over Pierce. Roschon's not in this, so Kelly and DJ Moore are our starts. Jason hates me, says, love you, Tara. Welsh, hope you fall in a garbage can. Jason says, start one flex full PPR. Pacheco, Allen Robinson, Gabe Davis, or John Mechie. This is pretty easy. Pacheco, right, Tara?
Theoretically it is. Also, love you too, Jason.
Yeah, love you too, Jason. Love you, especially for me.
It is. The only thing is that I love it's risky. So Pacheco for sure. But if you are in a situation where maybe your league is like, a little tilted and we were facing like some guy that drafted a guy or girl that drafted like amazing and you're down like, I don't know, 30 points or something and you need a high upside play, then Gabe Davis would be the guy that I would kind of tilt you towards. But Isaiah Pacheco is the one that makes the most sense there.
Yeah, Pacheco's just the easy play. I just don't think your other options are good enough to consider here. So I'm going to go with a RB2 over a litany of wide receiver threes at this point. Dirty South says full PPR flex pick 2, Lockett, Zay, Elijah Moore, Puka, Josh Reynolds.
Oh man. So I don't mind Lockett this week. So Lockett for me is still someone who I want to lean towards. And then on the other end, it's Puka. But a lot of these guys, I get where you're going. Like, if there's any issues with Amari Cooper, you could have Elijah Moore, but we don't know for sure. So it would be Lockett and Puka for me.
Yep, that's a pretty easy one for me. I mean, I know there's you could facilitate some other options. Elijah, Eli. Well, you know what? I shouldn't be dismissive. My brain, when I actually saw that, I immediately went to Sky Moore. Eli Moore makes this tougher if Amari Cooper isn't out. I might lean Eli Moore and Puka, but Lockett is way safer. So I'm going to stick with the original. I'm going to go with Sarah here, but Eli Moore might be the one that jumps out. My brain immediately went to Sky Moore, and I was like,
it wasn't a Monday night game. That's the problem. Yeah. Like if we knew for sure no Amari Cooper, we'd be like, oh, okay. But
yeah, and it's like Steelers and Browns like that. Never know how that game can end up going. It could be a trash pile game or it could be a slugfest. The NFL contest. Well, users can join our group by visiting our community tab in the Betting Pros app or by going to this link directly, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. You can join up with the weekly NFL contest where they've got weekly and seasonal leaderboards with tons of prizes. The weekly, just got to have a minimum of 5 NFL picks per week to qualify. And the season to date is a minimum of 100 NFL picks during the season to qualify. Number 1 grand prize winner is going to receive an autographed Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey. Numerous other weekly and monthly winners are going to receive swag from Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros shops. I've got the Fantasy Pros shirt and hat. I'm all companied out today. They're also giving away a 1-year premium upgrade on both apps. So go join up the NFL contest, download the Betting Pros app, get locked into that today. Have some fun. All right. Ken says Jerry Jeudy or Drake London full PPR.
I am terrified of Drake London this week. For all I said that I was worried about Jerry Jeudy coming off the hamstring, I'm going Jerry Jeudy over Drake London.
This isn't easy for me. I have way too many shares of Drake London to be comfortable, and I ain't doing it unless I am forced to do it because they didn't prove anything. What did they throw 18 times? Like, we have to see them throw with some volume and some catches. And we got that same old, like, well, it's not fantasy football and it's a game and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'll bet you talk to Drake London, he would like, a target or two. And I don't trust that they trust Ritter. So until otherwise, if I have any viable option, it ain't going to be Drake London. That's the answer to every question moving forward here. You have Drake London, Romeo Doubs. It's Romeo Doubs. Drake London versus really anybody in the consensus 36. It's those players.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Jeff says Henry, Musgrave, or Laporta. I know right before we got on, Joe and Debro were talking about Laporta. I love Laporta this week. Going to throw this out again. Betting Pros app. Sam Laporta's receiving prop is 33.5. I am going with the over on this week, but there's a couple loves of mine in there. But what say you, Tara? Musgrave, Henry, or Laporta?
I'm still going Henry, but I do really like Laporta this week. He is a tight end one for me.
Laporta for
Henry,
me. Yeah. And I was like talking up Musgrave and everything, but Laporta in this instance, I just, Seattle's defense kind of stinks. And I think this is going to be a little bit more hope. It's going to be more of a slugfest. And I think Laporta is going to get more involved, just especially middle of the field. Kirk says Tua or Fields full PPR.
It's still Fields for me again. Last week, if Green Bay can do one thing, they can terrorize you on defense from a pass perspective. So I like Fields this week over Tua.
Fields is number 8. Oh, I guess I lied earlier. I guess Burrow was 7, Tua was 9, and sandwiched between them is Justin Fields coming in at 8 on the consensus ranks here. I go with Fields just because of his legs. 2 up against New England gets me a little bit So I would go with Fields in here, and hopefully my big hope is they're going to try to counter a lot of the negatives that were out there from week 1. And that starts with throwing the ball to DJ Moore. And then if you got to take your third downs, tuck it and run and get your first downs, great. Give me 80 yards rushing Fields all day long, and then try to sling the ball a little bit. That's going to just open up the defense and spread the ball out. Breg says start 1 half PPR. Flex, so this is, I guess, a flex spot. Romeo Doubs, Justice Hill, or Eli Moore. So Justice, we're going to write off. So this just comes down to Doubs and Eli Moore. And this probably comes back to what you said before. It just kind of stinks that it's a Monday game and we have to wait on it because, like, Eli legit could have 8 catches in this game. He can be the number one. And we saw just that secondary for the Steelers looked toast. So I think Eli Moore can be a top 24 receiver this week. There's just kind of weirdness around the Amari Cooper stuff. And we know Doubs is the number 1 this week against Atlanta.
Yep. Exact same justification. So it's Doubs for all of those reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Chase says start 1, Gabe Davis, Tutu Atwell, Sky Moore. Cool.
It is Gabe Davis. I do love this. This is a Gabe. If I'm looking for boom weeks from our boom players, it is Gabe Davis and Mike Williams that I think are slotted in for boom weeks this week. So it's Gabe Davis for me.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. I agree. That is Gabe Davis is the guy. Aaron says need 2 of the following in full PPR. Kelly, Zay Jones, Zach Moss, Breece Hall. So 2. It's Breece is a lock because we've already kind of talked up him, and I think Kelly's a lock here. I actually like Zach Moss this week as a dirt running back, like on the back end. But if you got Kelly and Breece, you roll, my friend. You agree?
Yeah, 100%. I love Zach Moss. If you could get Zach Moss, he's our lead back. Deion Jackson will do nothing this week, and it is 100% him against Houston. Then I would say yeah. But we don't got that, so we'll stick with our knowns of Kelly.
Yeah, well, I just don't think like they could be like Zach Moss is going to get 30 carries, and I'm still not going to start him over Kelly and Breece. That's my problem. But I do think like if you are desperate, if you got hit with some of those injury bugs, Zach Moss is a guy I think you can throw in flex. I think he would be more interesting against some of these like I'm going to throw you one, Tara. Zach Moss or Drake London at flex?
Oh yeah, it's Zach Moss for me. I feel more comfortable starting him than you, just because the Houston run defense is that trash for me. So I'm okay with starting him. And Deion Jackson just looked absolutely
Yeah.
awful
No. I
last
mean,
week.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm all on Zach Moss this week. I don't like him over Brees Hall and Joshua Kelly, but
Yeah.
I think Zach can catch the ball. I think he can be the early down back. I think we might see Deion Jackson as more of that third down pace back. And I think he could outtouch Deion Jackson like 60-40. And I think when you get into the red zone, it is probably Zach Moss time. So I'm all about it. It's just not over those other guys.
Yeah.
Drake London.
It's a fine flex option. Like
Yeah.
he's your flex for this week. Go with your other guys for your RB2s.
All right, let's see. God, we got a lot of the same type of questions. Oh, here's one. I don't think we did this one. Los Crypto says, I'm guessing full PPR. Or did we do this one? Puka, Garrett Wilson.
I don't think we've had that combo, but Puka for me for sure. It's just the matchup. It really is. Again, this is not Garrett Wilson long term. He's still long term wide receiver 2 for me, but the matchup for me just terrifies me. So it is Puka.
Garrett, it's Garrett, baby, but it's like a tiny bit. Let's go see. Actually, I think we got it over on the side here. Some of those wide receiver 2 ranks. Let's take a look on half PPR over on Fantasy Pros, where the consensus rankers were. I was, and by the way, I point out, I was not the wide receiver guy last week. Derek Brown, I think, was number 2 in wide receiver rankings in week 1. My dear friend Scott Bogman was number 13. I'm the running back guy. I ranked 12 overall last week in 200 plus on the running back side for the Fantasy Pros contest. So maybe wide receivers, you just don't want to listen to me in general. So let's see. We had Puka. Garrett Wilson comes in at 21 in half PPR on the consensus ranks. Puka down at 36. I think a lot of people got scared off of the injury thing earlier in the week. I don't know if everybody has updated their ranks. That I believe that is way closer than the ranks are telling us, but that is according to the Fantasy Pros consensus ranks, which you guys can go check out at fantasypros.com. This is a good one. We've got James Cook or Zay Flowers. What say
it's
you?
James Cook. I'm there are very few scenarios this week where I will not say James Cook.
Ooh, Zay Flowers, like we might get banned if we don't say Zay Flowers from D-Bro and Joe this week.
I love Zay though. I know. But
it's Cook though. I'm with you. I'll go. We're going to go down with the ship as a team if they want to ding us. We're going down James Cook. All right. Let's see. Matt says AJ Dillon or Elijah Moore.
Oh.
Full PPR. It's Dillon.
AJ, just go ahead and do AJ Dillon.
Volume running back who also can catch out of the backfield a little bit. My only worry is that this game being slowed down by Algier, up the gut for 4, Bijan around the side for 6, 5-minute drive. And then you get a 6-minute drive that's built around AJ Dillon up the gut for 3, for 4, for 4. And it just, that would worry me a little bit about the pace of this, but I'll go with Dillon, even though I've said like, Eli Moore might be like a top 15 wide receiver this week, but it's a little home run hitty. Yeah. Roger says Brian Robinson or Kyron Williams, full PPR.
It is the matchup. The matchup for Kyron is no good. Brian Robinson.
Yeah, garbage. You're not going to start a running back against the 49ers right now, especially someone who just, came off of the depth chart as a higher snap count than Cam Akers. No thanks. I don't think so. Brian Robinson for sure. Dan says, Kendrick Bourne or Nico Sneeko Collins, half PPR. This is Sneeko for me, 100%. I think 11 targets last week. He's another 3.5 reception prop guy. I am all on Nico Collins this week. Receiving yards prop 47.5. I think if this team is playing from behind, they are throwing, and they are throwing to Nico Collins. So that is Nico for me.
It's super, super close for me. I genuinely believe that Bourne is, now granted, if you want to go with Nico because you know for sure, and we don't know for sure on Kendrick Bourne that is going to repeat of him as being the wide receiver 1 in that offense, but he appears to be the wide receiver 1 in that offense in a game.
And the Dolphins defense kind of stinks.
Where they might have to, the Dolphins defense, very questionable, and they might have to, if they can't stop Tua, they might have to throw a lot more, and you could see a repeat of that Mac Jones volume. But Nico is definitely the safer option there.
All right, let's go down here. Mike says, not sure if this was answered. Jacobs, Pittman, or Dobbs in the flex? Josh
Does
Jacobs?
not answer. We have not heard Josh Jacobs' name at all.
Well, we're not going to talk much more about it because it's Josh Jacobs. I mean, you're going to
Yes.
start Josh Jacobs in full PP. You're going to start him in whatever format over Dobbs and Pittman, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right, Mike, easy answer. We got you. Adrian says, start, flex, and sit. Okay, so it's kind of just sitting one. Dylan, Cook, and Kelly. Let me guess yours. Yours will be start Kelly, flex Cook, sit Dylan.
You're correct. Yep.
I agree. I think I agree. The Cook Dylan one.
It's like dicey. Yeah. And I got a lot of combinations on those earlier too. A lot of Kelly. The Kelly versus Dylan one was a really common combination today that I've seen.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it. I like when we can see exactly what's going on in everybody's minds, and you can definitely tell what is going on. Rival Fantasy with superior DFS game you can't play on any other app. Rival Fantasy has changed the game for good. Try Fantasy Bingo, a fantasy sports twist on the classic parlor game. You can build your DFS lineups without any salary caps and generate bingo cards to complete achievements and get a bingo. That actually sounds really, really fun. If you're more of a head-to-head type, Rival Challenges allow users to pick a side in a 1v1 fantasy player matchup. You can choose which player will score more fantasy points that week, call your shot, and go up against users who choose the second player. New users can go to joinrival.com/fantasypros23 and get a $200 deposit match, plus a first play voucher after sign-up. Don't miss out on this industry-leading deal for new players. The future of fantasy sports has arrived. We'll see you in the arena. Go and check them out today. Let's get a few more. We're on the 15-minute marker, so we'll probably start burning and turning here in just a tiny bit. Lisa says, half-point PPR, Algier or Najee?
Najee.
That's a good one.
But I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I think it's going to be Najee too. Yeah, like Steelers' game plan this week has got to be built around, completely deconstructing the damage that they were last week and going hard this week. And without Deontay, another receiving option, Najee's got to be a big force of it. So Algier looked awesome. I just don't know if we're going to get another, running back one performance from Algier this week. So I'll go with Najee as well. Let's see. Have a nice day says, need to drop one for a kicker. Juju or Dobbs? It's got to be Juju.
I love this. Yeah, it's Juju. I've got bad Juju vibes. I think he could be outperformed as we go on by both the Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas and Kendrick Bourne. Got a bad feeling.
I don't like it. Eric Chavez, former third baseman for the A's, Eric. Full PPR, Zay Flowers or Josh Kelly? Josh Kelly, yeah. Yeah, we like Zay, but it's Josh. Josh Kelly's been the answer pretty much almost every point here. Let's see. Storm says pick 3 half PPR. Really, sit 1. That's a better way to put this in half PPR. Lockett, Zay, Puka, or Mostert. Who are you sitting out of that group?
Zay Jones. Yeah, it will be the one that I'm sitting.
Is half PPR. Mostert and Zay Jones. That's kind of getting me a little bit. If this was full, I would definitely sit Mostert. I'm going to sit Mostert in this one. I'm going to sit Mostert, and I'm just have to start him in a few spots. Just, this is a tougher defensive matchup. If they're passing a whole lot, I don't know fully where he is, and I think that Jags Chiefs game is going to be slinging and flying, and Zay Jones is part of that. Don't feel really good about that one. Jomar says for flex, Curtis Samuel or Tank Dell, half PPR.
Tank Dell. Yeah. Go for it.
I'm going to go Curtis, but yeah, I don't, that's a rough man. I'm sorry, Jomar. We're with you.
We've got rumors that we'll have increased workload for Tank Dell.
Well, let's see it. I'll be excited to see it. I mean, Curtis Samuel was pretty involved last week, but also that team stinks. Monty says, hi, Fantasy Pros. Hi, Monty. A full PPR, Kyron Williams, Cam Akers, or Brian Robinson for RB2. And, let's start there. So it's really Akers. Well, I mean, I don't know. Kyron, Cam, or Brian. Let's see where you are at that.
It's Brian for me, for sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm avoiding those. I agree. Ayuk, Zay Jones, or B-Hop for flex.
What am I missing with B-Hop?
I think he might mean...
Well, it's Ayuk, or I'm certain D-Hop. Maybe there's like a typo.
I think he meant yeah, I think actually I was looking at that. I think he means Hopkins. So Hopkins or Ayuk,
mm,
let's say.
mm.
What am I missing
I'm
with
still gonna
D-Hop?
go. Yeah, I was like, what is my missing? Brandon Ayuk is still who I'm gonna go with on that one.
Oh, that's got to be our
yeah.
new line. I wish we could have a big thing. What am I missing? I guess I would go with Hopkins, but I don't know.
Close.
Ayuk is, yeah, it's really, really close. Let's see. Bada. Need a flex. Debo, Kelly, Shaheed, or Algier. Oh man, Kelly or Debo? Kelly or Debo is the question.
I would still go with Kelly over Debo. I would.
Yeah, volume running backs. I'm gonna stick with like what I've been saying, but it's Debo week. It's a Debo week. Let's see. Rashad White from Steve or Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Rashad White. So
Ooh.
it's my guy. Let's see. Devin says Rashid Shaheed, Drake London, Cam Akers, or Sneeko Collins start 2. Half PPR.
Oddly enough, and again, it's gonna look funny, but this one is super matchup based for me, which leaves me with Rashid Shaheed and Nico Collins. I'm terrified for Drake London's matchup and Cam Akers. Like, it's just like a no-go with that matchup. You can't.
You and me are together. I'm with you on that one. I thought it would be weird too, but I'm just not starting Drake London. And why in God's name would I start Cam Akers against the Niners? I mean, he might do something, not to say that they won't, but
yeah,
there was no level of trust. Akers was losing volume. No thanks. I'll go with Shaheed and Nico. Let's see. Good morning, pros. Dak or Daniel Jones today?
Daniel Jones, better matchup, bounce back week. If Dak is a QB1 this week, I mean, it will be a miracle for him. Congrats to him if he's able to do that. But it's Daniel Jones for me.
All right. Have a nice day, says Ferguson or Luke Musgrave. Full PPR. That's for you.
Luke Musgrave.
It's Luke Musgrave, guys. Yeah. Gerard says, hey guys, half PPR, Puka, Dobbs, or Pacheco. You guys are just making up combinations now of all the players we've talked about. Like every one of these, I look at them like, I swear to God, we've answered this. But we did Puka, Dobbs, but I don't think Pacheco was involved in this. So we went Dobbs over Puka, right? And then would you go Pacheco over Dobbs?
No, I would still go with Dobbs. Yeah. And it's funny. I think so. It says, so first of all, Fantasy Pros, this sounds like our audience is locked in. We're all lockstep. And that's why we're getting these same like Pukas, because y'all went out, you did your waiver wires and you made your right choices and you got your good like late round draft picks that we were all recommending. So I'm not shocked y'all got Dobbs. I'm not shocked y'all got Dobbs and Puka.
Which is good. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good problem to have. Brandon's got an interesting one. Kyle Pitts or Dalton Kincaid, or pick up Musgrave or Laporta off of the wire.
But then I feel like you would have to roster. Well, you know what? I would rather have Laporta than Kincaid. I hate to say that. Yeah, pick up Laporta.
I didn't think we were going to agree on this one. I would dump Kincaid in this instance for Laporta. I think Laporta is again, Pitts is dynamic, but we got to see them throw the ball. They immediately came out after the entire preseason and they just didn't throw the ball whatsoever and try to spread the field out. They just did their thing with Bijan. So I would go with Laporta because I think he's going to get some volume today. Mm-hmm. Might be gross starting Laporta over Pitts. Let's see where the rankers are on that one. Pitts is 8 this week. Laporta is 11. So it's just slightly in favor of Pitts. I will go with Laporta, though.
That's surprising. I've got Laporta over Pitts. That's surprising.
All right. Ryan says start 1, Zay Jones, Tyler Lockett, Gabe Davis.
We're going Tyler Lockett, our safe and secure buddy, Tyler Lockett.
I agree. Lou says Hubbard or Cordell Patterson full PPR in place of Ekeler, by the way.
I'm still going Hubbard. It'll be interesting to see what kind of workload Cordell Patterson comes back to and what he takes from Tyler Algier in terms of receptions, because Algier had receptions last week. That's one thing to note, that was very interesting. But Hubbard is the one I would go with.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even get to see the Joker last week, so I don't know what that looks like. So I would go with Hubbard. Yeah, the Panthers' favorite thing is to get momentum for Miles Sanders and then take him out. So, and Hubbard's the guy that comes in for him. So I'll go with, I know I can get a little bit of volume out of him. Trey says full PPR, Nico or T. Higgins. We're not going to get too cute. We're going to go T. Higgins, right?
Yes, okay. We are.
Let's get too cute. Full PPR, this is from Huey, Damian Pierce or DeAndre Hopkins at flex.
I'm still going DeAndre Hopkins. Veteran, missing practice. It's just, it's Hopkins. He's fine.
I agree. Let's see. In a 18 PPR, which two would you choose? Puka, Tutu, or it's Puka and Eli Moore. Eli Moore and Puka on there. Tutu's not even in their wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, agree.
Okay. The Collected says, coming with the fire. Hey, y'all, pick 2 full PPR. Zach Moss, Raheed Shaheed, Chris Godwin, Christian Kirk. Thanks. Love the show. First time listener, long time follower. Thank you, The Collected. So Shaheed, Moss, Godwin, and Kirk, you got to pick 2 full PPR.
Full PPR. I know we weren't thrilled with what we saw at Godwin last week, but you still got to go with Godwin. And then
you're deciding between Moss and Kirk, right?
It's Moss and Kirk. You're 100% right. You know me. I am willing to take the risk on. I'm willing to take the risk on Moss. I think no PPR. Just go ahead and go with Kirk. It's so close. So go with Kirk.
Yeah, I'm glad you did all that because I was gonna do all that. I'm gonna huffing and because I kind of believe, and maybe I'm adults here, that they're gonna get targets to Kirk. As they said, Kirk thrives in man coverage, and that's what the Chiefs like to run. So that's a better opportunity for Kirk. It might not still be big, sexy numbers, though, but you might get 5 points on 5 receptions and maybe another 50 yards. So it's 10 points. Moss is still a little bit of an unknown. And we just don't know what the volume mix looks like between Dion and Moss yet. Like, I think this could look dumb after this week. We could be like, wow, yeah, Zach Moss is all the volume. I would go, who did you say, Moss? Or did you say Kirk?
I said Kirk.
Yeah, I would go with Kirk.
Because, I mean, this is not uncommon. Like last year, we saw Kirk and Zay Jones flip-flop on a weekly basis. So this is not uncommon for me. So it could flop right back to Kirk.
Yeah. All right, lightning round. We're going to just go quick lightning round for everybody. Jan, Pittman or Romeo, full PPR?
Romeo.
Ooh, Pittman. Aaron, Hollywood or Zay Flowers? 1, 2, 3, Zay.
Zay.
Okay. Luke says Roshan or Kyron, full PPR. It looks like.
I'll still go with Kyron.
I'm fine with Kyron for catching the ball. Kenneth, let's see. AJ Dillon, the Dillon, how you spelled it screwed me up. AJ Dillon or Breece Hall, PPR?
I can't lightning round that one. Yeah, I lean towards Breece.
I'm going to go with Breece because of the catches.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, we're not confident about that one. The Kips, let's see. P. Ryan Moss or just put Williams. I'm going to guess this is another Kyron run. So P. Ryan Moss or Kyron Williams?
Moss.
That is Moss. Z says Shaheed or Javonte Williams, standard league.
Javonte.
Yeah. Derek says need a wide receiver 3, full PPR, Hopkins, Dotson, or Jones. This is Dotson or Hopkins, and the answer is Hopkins. So,
yeah.
Right. All right. Brad says, hey guys, need your help. Full PPR, flex, James Cook or Josh Kelly. Got Goddard and Chubb as RBs 1 and 2. Good humble brag, Brad. Cook or Kelly? I don't think we have this exact one. You love Cook this week.
Yeah, it's Cook for me. I will not pivot.
I'm going to go Kelly on that one. Higgins or Flowers, half PPR?
Going back to Higgins.
I am going to go with Higgins as well. Full PPR, Josh Kelly, Mike Evans, and Mike Williams, pick 2. That's Evans and Kelly, right?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. AJ Dillon or Olave at flex and full PPR?
It's Olave. It is Olave.
It's got to be Olave. Brian says Algier or Gabe Davis or Puka. Or Algier, Gabe Davis, Puka, full PPR.
I think I gave this justification before. The Algier is the safe one. If you need a big boom potential, go with Puka or Gabe Davis, but Algier is the safest option.
All right, 2-minute warning here. Cody says the Williams battle, Jamal or Javonte, RB2. Jamal for
Javonte.
me. Ooh,
It's Javonte
okay.
for me. Yeah.
I like that game we can maybe do sometimes where it's like 1, 2, 3, and we say it and we just go. Because I'm going to go with Jamal as the main back against the Panthers, but I get Javonte. Cody, half PPR. James Conner, you just put Moore, so I'm going to guess Eli Moore or Pacheco.
Oh, James Conner.
I will go with James Conner, but I want to say Eli Moore really bad. Garrett Wilson, Jahan Dotson, full PPR. Wilson.
Go Wilson. Yeah, I would still go with Wilson.
Oh, good. I got you there. I didn't think we'd get you.
Yeah.
I don't think I got you to say a Garrett Wilson answer yet. So
No, you have not. This is the first one.
How about this one from Daniel? Puka or Breece Hall at flex?
I would go Breece Hall.
I would also go with Breece Hall. Which wide receiver out of Kansas City would you go with, Tony or Rashee Rice?
They
They have to fix Tony this week, right?
Tony. The only thing I worry about is that based off what he said, Andy Reid said, is that they threw too much at him. He said it was my fault. I threw too much at him with no training camp. So that makes me worried. Like, okay, can you pull him back? But just go ahead, go with Tony. Also, I revert my Javonte over Jamal. I will go with you on Jamal.
Okay, good. All right, so we're on the Jamal side. How about we end this one? I think it's a pretty good one. Jerry says Deshaun Watson versus the Steelers or Anthony Richardson versus the Texans. Deshaun Watson ended up being, what did Joe say? Like quarterback 5, I think, last week. But the rank this week, Richardson is 10 and Watson is 13.
I prefer Anthony Richardson.
I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson as well. I've got him pretty high. All right, friends, here is some of your homework. Later tonight, Scott Bogman and I are going to be live doing a recap of everything. It's usually at the end. I can tell you right now, it'll be at the end of the 49er game going into Sunday Night Football. We'll be breaking everything down. If you guys want to hang out with us, we'll have Deepak Chona on talking about whatever the injuries, cross your fingers. So come and hang out with us later there. Betting Pros, we're going to skip over to Betting Pros because they have got some coverage for you on some of your best bets. Do want to remind you guys, make sure you made a comment under here. If you were subscribed, you are entered in to win a Tyreek Hill autographed jersey, which is sweet. Go over and check out the NFL contest at bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Get in on my playbook because that is going to help you out the mostest, especially if your question did not get in today. So go and check out my playbook over on Fantasy Pros, fantasypros.com/my playbook. And you can also get locked in on the Discord. You can follow Tara on Twitter at It's Tara Time. You can follow me at Is It The Welsh. And hopefully we see you guys next week, nice and bright and early. Get all your questions in so we could answer them. Thank you guys for hanging out. Good luck in week 2. For Tara, I'm Welsh. We'll talk to you next time right here on the week 2 live stream on Fantasy Pros. Bye, friends.